Hello, hello everyone. Hello. Welcome. Sunday DBSC, no. Every Thursday, third week of Thursday, Monday, Mr. Obishia. A friend is Kasem, a high life radio. Usually, 7 p.m. But because Mr. Obishia, I shift about 4 p.m. Like I say, high life radio, and I would say, Sikasem in a brown. And then your topics from Kukrai become wasem topic I'm say I know decoding generational wealth lessons from Africa dynasty and then they become wasem because you can come Mr. Obenda Kun and Patrick Befi. Welcome again. Cousin.
Befi.
And then our my
Sharp. Echo be a legend, Echo for you. And Becca African Dynasties once and then say in African history be a different. Now, and Pempi, Ayana legend can say African history are twisting, no. And share that chess is just about 400, 500 or maximum 600 years ago. Anna Sabini Paboniphobia and I saw bet twisting your macacra. Now we're two in futuro Elguini, Senebeya, and so ye. But thankfully, Omwanka some penny phony bu or Moba Africa basing idea no. Omu said they have to acknowledge the Africans who taught them or the Africans whom they studied from. And it's our information be brave or just that and you're readily available abu who near mano. Now French and I said probably free France etna some friend Count Constantine Divoni in the year 1787 about Africa. No, what it in same piece say civilization, a Greek phone a by and then he had read so many books. I know already books back by Greek philosopher back there friend Herodotus. I know who say Herodotus no wa acknowledge say Niema be no munimno or free Kemet, which is present day Egypt. Now, among all the Egyptian or among all the Greek philosophers, Egypt check Pythagoras. He stayed there for about 22.5 years until say there was the Persian kingdom capture Egypt until before he left Kemet, which is present day Egypt, so Pythagoras theorem, nobody can use to add the spins, the pyramid, and all those kind of things that. So, Bermeyer, a friend of Constantine Divoni, he became very interested. He said, says Uncle Fui, free the family, so he went there no otro in Sembi. Me person me reading in Semne Kakra. Now me we are my bonnet tofa. Otro say all the Egyptians have a bloated face, puffed up eyes, flat nose, thick lips. In a word, the true face of the mulatto. I was tempted to attribute it to the climate, but when I visited the Sphinx, its appearance gave me the key to the riddle. On seeing the head, typically Negro in all its features, Negro, you'll be a black man. I remembered the remarkable passage where Herodotus says, as for me, I judge the Cochins to be colony of Cochins near Microphobia, almost be colonize, almost be taking over Egypt for Kakra. Now, or to also call the name of Betra Simbi, or trust just to think of it, that this race of black men today, our slave and the object of our scorn, is the very race, is the very race to which we owe our arts, sciences, and even the use of speech. Just imagine, finally, that it is in the midst of people who call themselves the greatest friends of liberty and humanity that one has approved the most barbarous slavery and questioned whether black men have the same kind of intelligence as whites. Now, Obaya no behu sanya mani no. The entire emanitron sansewini is because no one who said a year new mabro no came your mudia before to for my nkwa. So when he came to Africa in that 1787, Obi said, near man crofo yi kan nyina no sa enye den and you know, so he was against racism. But then in some now all can nani probably bring any in your day and yarding until so no about back to Africa or be who sanya money in I'm not trust and same way in or see they owe our sciences, even the use of speech, the way I casa literature, all those kind of things. Now see the West, the Europeans, they owe it to Africa. And then he continues to say that these same Africans, no, or more Egypt now, you need some more mulatto near you for no. It's because they had mixed with Greeks, the Romans, the Persians, and all those people in Makala and ISR. But by now, the Spains, no, and Debbie, yeah, Caucasians for no, yeah, really NTC, yeah, no, thick. So it means that these people actually fabricated a story in order for them to attribute everything good to themselves. Now, you can't be a science, oh, yes, Bibi and come and it's in that same spirit. Anna. Hypocrites or mockers on the father of modern medicine. It's not true. No baby a bit me challenging me. But a person challenging me on find the facts, Embra. Hippocrates was never the father of medicine because on one case several thousand years and sana Oba na imhotep my jumani nyinada. The rind, not the rind, no my or the papyrus back or my nina dada. So these people try to twist the story, and as a matter of fact, most of this information, either say Ashino, and I say Obia Shedat Naswa Ugugu Grandpa onye the way. I had this from a professor. He's a professor who is studying most of these things. And Odemame. I mean, so me go through that information. It will be unlikely to even find it anywhere. But I'll make the link available to people who are interested to read more about it. Nipana Mikan was a friend, Count Constantine Divoni. He came to Africa in 1787. So whether it is physics, whether it's chemistry, whether it is mathematics, remember the Nigerians were even practicing the Vigesimal system, base 20, all these great things. And as a matter of fact, the world that we are coming to talk about, they studied it from here. We need problems, say, but trying to tell us, say, and the only way to defend it is for us to read our history and speak it loud and start teaching young ones at a very young age. You'll build that confidence in them. But train history now, actually no school, no dia, and no team fan carry. Remember the moiha, webi, and as unya, it will be able to enable them to feel empowered. Kasa, ubihuna, me kasa. I went to a barber shop one time. Now me kasa same way. Gabi to Kwesiko no shimi ni went me ankasa ana masheda na mesa hamamo sa ana me mafact na fi no aye din no hwe me so my friend na me imitiwe na me sorry koye. You think these people, if you don't read the history, they will always put you down, but where are we going to get it? So I'll make the link available. You can click on the link and read more about this particular portion of the African history.
Kasi, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome again, everyone, for Sikasem. And that topic, no, is topic be also council. By the way, Kwesi Desmond, we call also Mr. Obin books we call MV Sharp. We kumase more on Sabekambi. Desmond, we call MV Sharp. We kumase more on Sabekambi books ni BBA or Honor. Right. So before you best starting you make sure say you like it, now you share, now you subscribe so. And the topic to say kind decoding generational wealth lessons from African dynasty. And then the we are learning from the dynasties. Now decoded the generational wealth. Mr. Obe Michel again. Mr. Kankam so Michel be.
Yes, I was.
You can say you decode a generational word plan anything. Answer, Mr. Oben. Generational word.
Because you can't go that's it. Also, come to us.
Aye.
The all kind of was here to us. Also, to us because. One say, and Crawford sorry, oh, where do you hear more history in a year then? The current say, Bibian's answer.
No.
You see thousands of years ago, and one or more rebranding. Now we'll be a Kennedy. This year, You for no American. Then be almost ye be one shot, almost the dim baby at to so. Who go relatives are going? Oh, Russia, when you're uni, and so still also a uni. It was celebrating rap. Passover. Will be a celebrating you. There was a history in Ukraine here. No? Oh, sorry, I was Abraham blessings am I? And the history. Yeah, pet and will be at me about more the as a history here. The young tree and him queen. There's no way I'll bet my calling. Abraham baby, I will free. It's impossible. There's no way I'll bet my a dime be a yet 10 foundation and conform. There's no way I'll be who they are a wapa and the foundation, the root no and conform. The history is the root. Now the entire year can we munino. Over the last maybe 2,000 years, Africa, or even earlier, Africa has been under insurgents, one generation to the other, constantly from every front. And you normally be a twapeting. No, no, you go for be brave, quite almost yamia moye. Na bibi kraka bibini, you know, correct. Can come history working. So him power more dynasties now. That's a period of rule by a particular generation. The first 25, they Africans. The first 25. So almost abrophobia bemua. But I say at least data or what I say maybe 3,500 BC to about 1,000 BC. Nina na before. And this pyramids there who be brainy no dot one penufo mu the pharaohs were dark or black. Is after maybe just about 1,000 BC. And now for Floyd started so by no crack ya no mubemu. So a bit more tracking history now, at least 10,000 years domination of the African race. Now every other race be or bar Africa say pyramids no pay be or bar and ya bravo in one started almost no from about 1,000 BC will be over Africa be or bar or fire no money be we are or person katayechi from the Persians to everybody. And this is one and yet net started say this one komua obeka say oh we mo dear no make us because of the distortion of the information I want. And yet Europeans see distortion as Arabs distortion spare. So and anything I also call far deeper than that no sooner because it's as fresh as today. We say there is no time limit between memories. Is the advice of maybe I will take a ball from okay to say the scene and so what the bear for 10 years. So history is actually fresh to those who know the power of history. And a mundo was saying, and as our dynasties no cry who was the first pharaoh. Abrofuno who said no more waging out of Mukata. So Kwame Nkrumah books be brave. Do you know that they criminalized the books? As a matter of fact, the entire young West Africans, at least Africans or your continent, no. Sa history we mo be obo pe nkofo be brand nyina. Still womunya aware no is because nkofo na no more ma for a friend say interest wo mpa no African Americans no, na Jamaicans. And omo books no abrofo no particularly machinery no they raised war against it. Omuka say a dangerous information. And they knew it. The news says our discoveries nearby. Say yen asembaba. And almost African Americans so almost a asembaba. Jamaicans almost a asembaba. So more hundreds and thousands of these scholars, African scholars, who were so much interested in history deeper than the Bruni Becachere. Omu books so much training at the and send internet here. And you move brain here. Omu books look like you move brain to African scholars. But at the same time, obi ye medicine wa ha ye kire no Plato. Aristotle. Adentina woman na ye catch na people who came before them. And the so more the they are distorted. It is an intentionality. Almost share that sebe light be. Yes, I saw how who normally be more distorted. Even physical evidence of what him say normal way the Africans in a year. Yeah, distorted on the DNT. Because the power of history. You know it. And you want to mean African. We are strong. Our weak memory as an African. The only reason you see an African who is very strong, an African, the memory, the history is that strong. Beyond the Nancy Akosibro. So when near we wait me the school be Harvard, Yale, Oxford, still ombre. This one is true. In the African, I won't go school, baby. I was information on. We are more powerful than African. Wakwa food school. Now only in history, and that's the difference. And nothing here. See, be suya normal way. So generational wealth, Sebe. Se unim ze ona nano o is Ghanaian. Una ma wadwenko. And then him say good for say here or more. Una ma wadwenko. As a matter of fact. Says here, Ubisa will be a Oko baby, Bisa, oh, cop 90 ufri he. Uma meno papa de Sauna Namon Hine. Can you imagine Sabia says here, me too? Na Assembia to me. Now Busa me din Gramenkai. Me ma di menkai, me Gramenkai, and me mamma Mumian Munina menkai. School a mako, no mamma in menkai. So be a bit much, let me say, if you make yatum. Bit my some inside the Marco baby says here, you cook. Because we need memory. And all human beings, our difference is in our memory. Doctor, a trainee at the man, is that our history? Businessman is the same. Engineer, accountant, carpenter. Juma will cook ya, the rain fee. And then to me, and that will be an accident, and one case is about that one. No, I don't know. Yes, there's not a telephone. So human being is as powerful as its history. The same with a race. Every race is as powerful as their memory. And the history of any group of people is their memory. And this will be distorted you as an individual or memory. They can rule you forever. And that's why Ukofa Aqua and Asam Fana. Yena na mo ebi obi free baby ba yesu we dey enkanechi asem dentia because you see a car ebi yi na free to bo se mpanyimfo ahemfo a wo munim nyansa pa no wo munim baby o munim obi ase wo munim baby obi afri eni ntina akonya no so won ka ho entimi mfa ma wo no because we do ebi za say bo nkro o hifa na free. That is history. And he said it's only shallow to a weak people. And to share will be an say, oh, Africa for the said we are living in the past and we are blaming the white man. When him the echoes will be as you can't get on. When him will be a obesha the beer and a near tibia and a near fear what pest own person will be betting so. You will feel baby free back. We are then. Okay. You may be Mikai England, Madame Bako, no Afghanistan, Mohammed. And yeah, then I need green. Then besides, I know when you green for the heifer, which let me move. But I also know I'm doing so Afghanistan, yeah, I'm doing so Arab. Also, no, I'm not Arab, I'm Persian.
Wow.
And when you offend that so be catches or Arab, also a Persian. They know it's only Africans, and because it will be your modern to say entity and I will be the design yenti and the primary thing I know was say will catch us in here. The essence of history. All education is part history. All education. And you cannot know yourself until you know your history. It's impossible. You cannot know who you are, where you come from, your identity, your courage, Remember generational wealth in us. You will never see the essence of your wealth if you don't know who you are. And how do you know who you are? Until you have memory of who you are. It's a generational wealth, the wealth that was before you and the wealth that will be after you are gone. Oh dear, you are just an intersection. So into a baton. And it's a winning me see a baton at the mouth of watching. It was a buy. Was a China for only 3 years ago, no, the entire name because we have a weak history. Our memory is weak. And it's because we have depended on entity or their mind. And it's entity on the mind. One farm may say a bit deep. Or the mind say a baby boy in infra. And found title or the other to saw your doctor and a lawyer and found. So long as I won't mean an income. Oh, Japadi, who know fan was a bow, someone or support no. Catcher is one investor or technology, one and not you don't. Intertiano the amount or the quantity and the amount. And what paid the immediate also. Quantity na the fapping, and I say, Chaco say, ye dear one summoner. It is what you're yet we are. So ye dear no, or far 1 penny. Was assassins will be to talk 1 penny. Will be found cry no more 1 penny. Because when said action on offer. So the wealth, the generational wealth, is the land, is the gold, is the people, is the agriculture, is the knowledge, is the memory, is the technology, is the politics, is the culture, is the tradition, is the heritage. It's the entity. So that's the generational wealth. And it's our duty. Say a befa. Yes, and they are called. And I say, be making sure say the next ones are going to be the actually. I know when you know side. Okay. And into our him one. We need to tell you about an idea, because we don't have any understanding of wealth. We only have understanding of profession and certificate and salary, not wealth. For better sanity.
Because you go.
Yeah, legend. And that topic, yes, and I'm me throw no small. So yeah, we say when you're into a kind African history, sometimes you can't help yourself but to cry, because Oshe near my dear hintao. I think I won't no. Now I have your 50 years, 60 years. I feel no one who say, sometimes and the reason why I say minim se me papa this year. Na se me minim se media dear money ya. Omo munya this year kura best kwanda ejapade na ewo ahini no. I'm here until the time where I realized that me na me this year no. Na ayeden aketwe ntina na asese na make say a bit me anka GS we should even look beyond the normal history na ye train na nka yanka say efie no parents, if you can, try and teach the young ones history as early as possible, Legend, may follow-up question. Yes, lessons from African dynasties. You say all the big pharaohs or mobile, the first 25 no modika eba your Jose Mo on the time nana in Hotep no you niema kesia omutimi ye hwe san krofo ya eden na etimi mo omutimi gina mo come anim. They reign for so many years until the influx of the West or the Europeans and I said the Greek came to Kemet. Then a more dance so every other African countries no, because Satam is just not other African countries no, but omono a then and dance one yeah other African countries it beat me as free or more in terms of generational wealth.
Or more time, no knowledge was God. knowledge was God.
Mm.
That's it. They saw knowledge as supreme. Knowledge. That's why somebody could go to school for 40 years.
Yes. And not to cut you, legend. Mom free a yini buy and obian ultimate graduate here. Or mom free West Neba Kemet, no. Obian to me and graduate because all could school for about 40 years. You Timmy Cork a by Pythagoras 22 and a half years. Or more canon 10, 5. Yeah, or more to me. Yeah.
That's it. So that was it. Their strength was knowledge. And no knowledge, and then yet it was this was esoteric. It was high level knowledge. And now the prophet for I said why he because his transfer be a pay is solid, becomes spirit. That was it. So their knowledge was not just the solid form, it was a knowledge that was in the spirit. High level vibration. What they call cosmology. More normally be no but really it was just knowledge. And it was in every field. Whether it's engineering, whether it's management, whether it's technology, every field, family, every field. And tomorrow, that's why they could build the pyramids. Yes, because their vibration was very, very much high. And Omonim said, Fahudieno Onimdim. And it was an honor's responsibility. So we a leader, you must have that knowledge. I think that was their biggest strength. Because from it, and a BB or so, and just as they say, knowledge is power. That's it. So they were talking, they understood what was wisdom, understanding, knowledge, truth, justice, kindness, compassion. So I know were level. And no man be break cross sabi. Yeah, kind Bible, yeah, kind. Bible by the same formation no more. Even higher form of those knowledge. That was their greatest strength. It was knowledge. And beyond it, I've almost started some of the church media. And it's you'll be almost so. And so far, I'm detaining. And into the whole empire could run for 500 years, 1,000 years. One generation to the other. Edena is the knowledge that they transfer. And it's our knowledge, Sabi. Then you will be and will be. And yet, the contract classroom say agriculture is there be the obedi most a different. That the obedi actually is also a different. And we were just all cost beer, and you know what's on your signing there. So I think that that was their strength. Wow. The obsession, the power of knowledge, of wisdom, of understanding. And they call it harmony. Yeah. They work in uniformity. There'll be so at that level of knowledge, will not exist. Say the yes, you can't offer any idea and offer, and that is a continuing leader. Because knowledge no form. So you will see their knowledge by the precision of their practices.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So I heard decoding the generational wealth. I heard generational wealth now. I heard about how the DNA no more strong, a free, other my kakra about the dynasties are we know him say your friend is saying Egypt in Egypt. Then now I say cry no na powerful example, the about Benin cry war. I'm not to say Benin war cry was,
Yep.
greater than China. There, the world and which are some dynasties are near crying. You will be crying. Will be
Okay. The meaning is dynasties now can refer to the ancient Egypt, Kemet, the pharaohs.
The pharaohs.
Other ones about the bit like I say kingdoms and empires.
Empires, okay.
So that's why you will see Kush, you see Ghana Empire, Mali, Songhai, even Asante as an empire. You see that. And almost all of them, a bit more almost ran a bare 1,000 years, like Ghana Empire, for instance. That was a very powerful empire. Ghana Nankasano was the name of Ohinenano Disuno.
Ghana.
Yeah.
And Chilesika Koko, that time, Chilesika Koko. And a Grovobi, the best status of Mode Nidine to empire, but Neye or Hinankasedi. So now, Oshemwa, a Bimocracy started before 300 AD. But I know that it ran up to about 1,200 AD. So over 1,000 years. Over at least 50 million people were in that empire over time. Now, you cannot manage such people. Abra, imagine Uncle for the actual is on by any and Pabua, and possible. An empire na a war gold. Make it well. And the gold no say such as more in the technology being.
Yes.
So that goes back to the knowledge that they had. Not only to govern themselves.
Almost let it form, you hear knowledge.
And the phones are how almost the MLT.
It's be a good chain. It's be
Sebe, if you had your wood in one bachelor. See, I know much more home by free or more time for home. In Fidie, and in a 2 hour no more. One natural. As a matter of fact, no more language, no more train. So, who's your question? Any Arab, and as a brony and a better anoman. Those history. So, who person anoman, who tear brony dear pet, who beg yatum automatically. So, she's a brony a man and come to me. But will be a Usia dear beyond the Akosibonia Kabiabo said these empires run on their own, with their own scripts, constitution, education system, health system, military system, technology. So they built dams, agriculture, they built storage systems. Will be a trying to. And to normally be these things were running. Maybe if the last person or can language be wua, the generation after that will never know the depth or the wisdom of that civilization that spoke that language. Into one way, I can say, oh, if the last person dies, and no man, daddy lumba ma bonica kuma bonina, sa no money no. Maybe we'll transfer into another form, but not the texture itself. So the same is what happened to the Africans. A lot of languages died. Their technology died with them. Their management systems died with them. Their script, their writing systems, their languages. And then also will be bad over catching someone here, maybe. Because that generation is not day. But at least there were traces here then. And into that Israel because the writing systems were brought to Africa by the Arabs. Into what do you want to conclude? Africans say the money nyasa kukrada. Kopem say the perform for the bit my baby be a mom. I just no what you to say naturally. It's not true. Civilizations run thousands of years before there was any Arab or European. And so you can pick any of the empires of the kingdoms and see it as Ghana and as America, how it survived. Because one team for America, for family, religion, technology, finance, music, entertainment, all those things, they happen because they were human beings like you and like me. It could be different technology form, but everything that they needed to survive as an economy The same things. So the way they store their information, the way they taught their people, the way they communicated, the way they thought of the next generation, they're the same. They're the same. The way they fought sicknesses and diseases. Before now, the Bronies one that did be a buy and uncle one buy and near your head, and they then you one son over. Have you ever asked yourself that? Thousands of years before you came, if these people were so stupid, and then when you and son over.
Oh, I'm saying the line the call.
Just say they knew how to survive on their own at a very high level of technology.
We'll be safe, even if we're working with a barefooted. There's a lot of benefit that comes with working barefooted.
Right.
It connects you directly with your friends, Mother Earth.
Yep.
Because he called before it's over about that.
Yeah, your legend is true. If you study the me free dynasties in Ukraine, yembra yen West Africa side. As I not to me Kemet no more, but West African side now we see something unique about Nkrofukubia na from or normal free Benin Kingdom. And then Benin Kingdom, that's what Hankebewo the Edo State. And then normal practice Adebia, I think some are called the Vegisimal system. So our Vegisimal system, no, what they buy in Kutabuma, you say, oh, compute in base 20. And into your normal numeration system, you see, you say 1 + 1, you 2, ABR 2 + 2, 4, 4 + 4, 8, you know. What they call more Vegisimal system, and that's what they call our base 20 now. It will not necessarily be 1 + 1 will be 2 or 4 + 4 will be 8. And unti bibusame ho say ti sebiu se na bibini sebi enim nya sasenia ebimu kana esi den no munya adwen bi ho say okay me wade baako me de baako kan emi okay but yen san develop system a sa de baako no the way ye calculation no it will be slightly different. A omutimi de ye adwuma e ma ne ye den so obi otibia obetimi akwa koredi the Vegisimal system Benin Kingdom at that time the Yoruba people time the Yoruba people not Benin Kingdom they were practicing that Vegisimal system in Kuntabu. So that should tell you how powerful the people were. The Rhind mathematical papyrus I containing over 80 mathematical problems I echron Kuntabu senior Ebia Adibi da hone around that calculating the circumference, the area, all those kind of things. Na na home timidi ebububu nkunta omudi ye niema kese bebre. And unti generational wealth no timbia ya na ye ka ya adwen ekosisika so. But ne kese pa de mimi de ni akakra masua every mpanifo ho no. Me hu ni se ne kese pa generational wealth kese pa enim de. Because se ejanum ejaye ejapade bebre na so oman kyerɛ nimdia yebetimi dia dane ejapade na yenso yeni ho a ye dia omomo di achi na it will go extinct senior legend ekano because we will not have any way to pass that knowledge to the next generation. And tina team ya ohwa Ghana tribes ni bi wo mo kasa ne ya extinct. Tribes ni bi wo mo kasa ne ya extinct. Obumo ho krampa legend ni kasa no okano oka na offering but onim say your knowledge is hidden in your language. The knowledge that you are seeking to be powerful is hidden in your language. And until that thing bia no say wahia ye ka Kemet or Masem ye ka Benin Kingdom or Masem ye ka Yoruba is because at that time they spoke only the language, the Yoruba. They had no other language. And until now Oshe Sebiu not any tribal Oshe Ebi Akamfwa. They are proud to speak the language. And that is the reason why our language dominating Ghana almost obiet mikatri. Obiat mikatri almost no timi kanokrano. Utimi tiase ba ebia nitonation na emun sheda endao. So that should tell you that generational wealth here comes, and all these great empires, all these dynasties, they were able to survive for several years was because of the language. And mind you, at that time, Africans' way of passing down information, it wasn't only through writings. Your way of learning, about 70% of it in a verbal through storytelling. And they said in the new beam, I can almost say be an assessment, ebia yetwan and now and chrometry share a jahonom and maybe it was that same way. And nobody passing knowledge now, but because you crasini. But you say is that same thing that is making a lot of things go extinct. And unti yentimi enko made the Igbo for bear example. Akaneno. And I think right now they still practice it. Be a young boy or bear 12, 13 years. Now you not come either send offer. And I say ne bread and I say penny be no woman across here where the okrukesim. No afar no titina from sa in Fina till about 25 years. Into this 25 now, not upon who master no so the sika and I saw the Japadi be a canon so no so fan bonnet bra who to miss store a channel. No, they are starting a business. And to go Nigeria, Osha more you're more not near Yoruba for no or they dominate in their political side. But Igbo for no, they have a strong business acumen. And the reason is because they be no mashishato say we have to take the young ones through an entrepreneurial route. And into your pass it down that information to also on course school that when you say you take inventory, when the restock level, when they don't have to go to school to learn all those things. And funny enough, Professor B. Ebechrecher or say whatever thing that they teach in Harvard, MBA, and all these Ivy League schools, no, they trace it down to that Igbo way of passing knowledge to young ones to start their business. Did that MBA model now, entrepreneurship now, school now, the genesis actually started from that Igbo way of doing business. But and name your shows will be a Igbo ni or can he chrome Igbo cast and a crown here or beferry because he's in his or cabro for Chihon no yes or Coca Igbo cast and a B or Bene or beferry input yeah 100 of a befi mean church the crap. Obu or Hanum see or a Ghanani or Tipipa Ushawa no yen wabro for some. But yen a Ghana for me no Nejana ye didn't come so then when a way and chair and commona ye can say ebia ye can brof manitias but ye per se ye then ye cabrofo because in me say o cabrofo say unimade. It's not true. A lot of us just speak English, but we don't really understand. We are speaking it for speaking sake. And intina ten bia no bon so be o person say me by a person force no man cabrofo unti ontimi nchiremu ye. The moment abeka so fan ko ne kasem no, it flows flawlessly. And that is why I say the power and the knowledge that you are seeking for is hidden in your language. Yebuza say, you don't have to think about it. But near on take kasan, Yebuza say, no to say, I say, patches say, and see, Sadia and I have famua, you will be brain AD. So there are a lot of us, brofunintino, intimi who ye kessie, or can you chrome kasan so I best in the end, you know, on your day. So I think one way that we can also decode the generational wealth is to actually embrace our language. Be proud about it. Be proud about it. I have a lot of ever friends, even though but some of them or see on person or can't or ever and also you see a man from pen as some say we are all victims of circumstance. You did not decide to come as an ever, you did not decide to come as an account. Be proud of the language that you speak because that is where the power and the knowledge of your generational wealth is hidden.
Because what they all can say ubi American on beso beka tree on beso beka tree. Kogana sisia somebody is proud in the anti tree or omuka brofu fi tino. He omuni ni nyansa. Anya nebe Ghana ho sisia. Obi te be kwai Bekwayo the bantimi katwi na kohwe brofo bi o kan o se brofo na o za akakra no Just say they are proud. I said they all Ghana no. You probably man can whatever it is. Brofo no more can, and they are proud say the banner can brofo. Now you brofo probably as so. Na ya yekrum kra na obi katwi obi ka brofo no tia wo de hwese ni sisire no wo so obi akatwi waka ewe waka ga atia me asire no da
maybe
enso de onu osuan no mum no oka na osire a otia ne asire no ade a yekosuan no yomtimi beto na ya two face this is it's not funny to me anymore na de atwe waka brofo ati na osire enso what waka brofo ati enye de krum kasa oka twi na wotie no oka ga na wotie osire no enu mom na nka wose yesire no because ena eni krum kasa etinye hakwa say Ghana call me no e chen yi obeso waka brofo anyway to us go follow up question bi na say mentor us
but the legend bet me akọ
oyo ti say the ye chechemu koya no my instances a bit me aboan when it comes to those niyama. I know what's the tea about their high level thinking and a friend saying the education, the knowledge, and omodi diniyamum. A dear being na usha yes say bit me afraid bit me aboy because we lesson from African dynasty. Dear Yaman or be omo ye na me pese be quest actually. Said you can hear dynasty na can usually know Egypt in Kwade, Asana the other one the empire near. But sometimes we call so we researcher. Dynasties no where the Ghana Empire and animal in account. Even cry, I was shocked. The last time I check here, Ashanti was part of it. Omudi Ashanti she meaning say intentional to say oh. But it's the bank a crabia beneath. Dear no man yeah. Ye bit me a lessons from that. I bit me a boy, I may see it me sad this.
So we say what the emphasis ante. Inti a Britain for any brass ante asante a here for anka Britain ko. Sika inti na Britain any bre. Enye sika dwana nko a. Ni sika angasa. Military force, and you say military power, any worth, and anti-bomb. Who will hear near the whole day? It is why the more nations, the more they become powerful militarily. And he said, kingdom be, and as a dynasty be 80 million abrofono konya. It's all because they were not poor. They were not poor. Actually, I said they knew, and I said, no, what ye dia say. See, ye dear a bamboo. Ye dear a bamboo. And yet, o more mote, as I say, go that's in no musia, quaya, befa. The mental system is built on language. Your mental system is built on language. Because Kasabini a catcher and Sana Wadrian a drew baby a drew. In this year, the Kasana any more do not a connected baby and a chair Wadrian, the system sees your programming. A different from the year Kasana and connected with the culture. And internet even up to date, to whom Africans, groups, tribes are more powerful in wealth. They are also powerful in their language. You can't separate them. Go to any African country. The most powerful tribes are also very much proud of their language, of their culture. And it can be say, the all creative word na the nipa ne nyi omo huni omo ka sa no mama mere omo mu omo ho omo ndimi ma yedi ni ma ni ye it is more of why every baby ejire edi hia de beba me catch your offer we nye prophet no kre na me catch your Edi here the beba ye ni beje say ye beye secretary ama broni. Akra na when ya brain so ye we say na obey doctor no hospital won't see be that, I'm telling you. Oh yes, Garo check. Because the language, the foundation, the mental processes, the mental system, the foundation is the language, the culture, the identity. It's worth what you mean quite any panel for so jing and free. And no bit about Jia as you almost home. And it's almost tea, dear say. None normal ye ye will community no so much or more bebaso. Those almost ye digger. Ye chill. Because in him say ye queer, ye chill. Ye yam punchy, nyai, ye blasmate, ye too good. You train ya. So no money in our bones and much trouble. It's an education system. And yes, it is sit down. To bones are quite a one or two honor near Manasas, Kodofu. You be our Kodo 10 acres. Or Doko Co. Do one comrade was a Jessica, no Bewari. Chill ye dear. Intina society no will choir your fast with ye deal. Yang say baby eternal, yang ye dear. So wow, Momo dear Kushia. Especially one more dear quatrain. Because Bruni classroom na was started as a watch ready or person watch ready. We dear free one today. Do him was school to producing growth for woman tea DSA. The Omoti has any salary increment. That's it. So, yeah, ye dear. Never. And to who dynasty be a powerful piano. Ye dear was an education system. Ye chose ye ye chose ye powerful. Sikaja. I don't have friend bambuja. And I said, Nieja, yes, it's Sikaja. Now, when it is Sikaja, so I be here. Do you know how powerful wealth is? The normal van show being sat. So, time for better to mamma my
Better possible.
Any possible. You train lawyers, you train doctors, you train engineers. Wo munim ye the kura make a job. Bako ko prempe won ti ye ase nyo pogorio. Ko prempe won ti ye ase.
Wow, coas. Coas. Wepo for that ye ase.
Won ti ye ase. Wa shemo. About tie. So you why titan will pay 1 years. So I have fana. So your lawyer 1 years. Because ye did actually. It is royalty. Wealth is royalty. And you don't teach royalty in school. So that's why it's generational.
Yeah.
And yay, and was it? Was it fair? To go fund the mocheno, ye that. To bit my fat, as you now they are boa society, nobody can ye dear. Did I say America out here? Abusia or my year over the last 100 years. And stress I ye didn't was.
Yeah, right. Oshe, yeah, I'm saying the last time I come have. Because we break it.
And two bones say, ye dear, Arab, I say. Sebe, Utu for the watcher of our Semono. In general school, the crown in general school. And into the Vias now, because I don't say Viase, so drink quite to the power more Diviasano. Yeah. Before I do Muko school, I won't years. A lot of political leaders are not worthy people. They just went to school. Yes. A lot of lawyers, doctors, engineers, middle class people. They're not worthy. They don't understand worth. They understand middle class.
I say Oti scarcia umieska. Masadiana, become Bibiana.
No.
Hey, this is deep.
No. And to both even I dare say that information be require what finance only I don't know. It's not worthy who are teaching that.
Yeah.
It's not the worthy.
Because you go
Africa nankasa de worth no. To share more. You will yet to. Where Brony oko a typical African fear. Brony and the fear fet is said the African no fear feno. Hey Brony and any fiba. The ordinary white person, they don't carry themselves in royalty. Oba Ghana, Oyeni crowds or sorry, no addressing. Oh, sorry, we're polished. Couldn't be any fee clean. Abrafo baby, I'm who among your sanity. Brunia, what dressing not just way high pa. Brunia, if you fair way high. But yaha, Uhunua, one shed any baby or to polish. We clean. It shows that there's royalty in Africa. So ye diankasano, oh, classy pa. And you're far from it. The way I yet tear no mercy. And until I nipa ne can hook a crabby or who ye deal with Africa. We train him. Ye dear Benny. Because he brony ye dear artificial. Yeah, drink a crabby differently. And when I meet teachers, I don't know, or the banana, bamboo effect.
Yeah.
You could see it. Did you hear any panel so better to know who ye deal? The entire because the wealth is in the land, access to land, access to trade, access to agriculture, access to knowledge. And here for pan, you barricade this man. And yeah, and into our chrome says here, open so beach or says here more. When you see can sana watch it. Because that is wealth. What pass as says here, Bush, opinion in person, as here, Maubi. That is word. The reason I am who is the interpretation of word based on Kwasi school of the Bible. So you move brave, we are worthy. When I naja cocoa for 100 acres. Also a bush and here because we don't understand word. The agent is a word to say when you're bossing and they're talking.
Una naja asase 100 acres.
Yeah.
So here. Or that Accra, we still him.
Sir, until you say,
I go. What Pisca can Pisca say we are was I come connection man need not far.
That
Brazil.
Nicaragua.
Aye. No aside rule of Mataba. So you was asking oh you see okay we can say and I would so what other now to her bra. Bra here
Yeah.
Aye. Wow. We see okay. Now can be about the dressing is any man on the way, no. You know, be what I want to say. Hey, I'm papa, as now can. Because okay, I'm mystery. Because na a Jumana guy back who so your friends the diplo me mate back or dressing attacking. You know, what attacking part to say yes. They said, yeah, quite the quiet address in the video. They said, she should come every day. Now, Bruni Waku or Rakawaku was man, why do you dress like that? I just, you know, that's how yes, I said dress up. Yes, I know my mind. Or hey, what dress you up?
Yeah,
it's you know, not I quite started so baby. I'm going to do the same thing or start here. Miss went to me 1 week. I feel I said, man, I can't do this, man. I can't do this. Why do you need to go? Yeah, boy, is you I say can't do any.
Yeah, dress it. Just one this Ghana.
True. I'm saying other countries you cry the America for Adi dressing.
Hey, Britain, you.
Britain, oh my chain. Oh, they be a promotion America for. Britain, Debbie. And how even socks cry, socks she or she black now or she blue she white no she will no more than now. Or they are shiny shoe no number sorry, or they are shiny shoe no number jumum.
And what names that will be to Ghana see here.
Nah,
because of me simple.
Yeah,
said there you. At the 4-9 Casano, whom we fee now we should see your normal bones or mono. It is at the 4-9 Casa. More old wealth, generational wealth. And yes, we're extravagant, but you can see class.
Yeah.
And that class is very close to us.
Because you're royals.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
you know, so when you say African Americans, no more back Africa, back Ghana, no more back now, share the way we see Kasa. What him say? Because you say, be different. What him say?
Be different.
I say, na sada near 10 no more Kasa when you actually. Now, what TV is no more Kasa. Obaka yes, I Ghana ni free by you. What kind of different? When I say na Gabriel Union, no can't buy. Just say, what team say or more kind of different? So yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
so my point is again. But Oba, Obi a being different formation. We are Oba who beauty no.
Yeah.
Oh, beauty no. Share ordinary chief will be a watcher than me as a case be a crowd as only case be a crowd. Yes, open say Yeshua, and Yeshua, you bring the betray you. You bring the betray says the idea boy at you. And you bring the betray say or 2 for address or so the go to turn out. And that I don't know, it didn't come from colonization. This was before royalty.
Yeah.
The way I have first only been Pakasa. It didn't need the money pa. Sebe was a canipano. Brunisi canipano. We shall know where Muna. As a matter of fact, who see respecting, see comport on one. And son of more access. Won't you put your maybe I will you when you saw on your train. Joshua Scafo pa woodnam Mukromo who you was a capa yet Basabasa. You're very calm, collected, respectful. Respectful, that one you will not take it from them. You were high no yantiteno. See now here. Wouldn't you go to for him now because my friend? Oh him. That's royalty.
Okay.
That's worth. But what we are obe information. Because Africa for the above he couldn't tie over. A high level vibration, and that is what they practice. I'm telling you.
Almost na yen yama baby akesi. Omo na yen yama akesi san na yeah.
Ushiana who said what the need yama nipa. And your papa when 70 years ago, you know, professor could just say market say. How are you, market? Professor, when 70 years, who 20 years, we are a market say. And what you say, just said when you fee. It's for the ordinary. It's not for the top. Because you can't do that to Prince Charles.
No.
That's royalty. Okay, Charles said, say, how are you, Mike? Oh, whatever.
What's up with you for?
Huh? No, why? Because you understand the processes that people go through and stand to a certain level.
Yeah.
So even though you need a nipa, but you cannot take out what people sacrifice to reach somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the mark of somebody who's been trained to be worthy. You don't trivialize input. and sacrifices and position and power. So what name difference in that? We ain't any. Be how who done it there? Crown I'm so we any automatically. Even though it's got a so what's worth is different. Worth is different. You value access, you value information, you value privilege, you understand protocols. That is worth. And it's no money ordinarily. You want to draw no identity.
I obviously refer to that as old money.
Yeah. Swati. A difference of Uromufia who cow moka who so musikasa, so musikro nipa. In Tetia or Mama. More heritage, history that. You can't take it out. It's, as a matter of fact, they teach them constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, but trying crying is a caca soon go group. Also, language about was way. You know that's how way.
Hey, the guy I call my friend said, hey, was it first when you saw quiet? You kuno. I was going when you say. It's in another one. I feel you're saying you must your quick classic como muska. Yeah, I am kuni and she.
Yeah.
You know, you're crazy. Anyway, I'm off way.
You want to be a way ye pan. Maybe not Sikani because away brony. Or say, once you our family history crying 1,000 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And these are, and you can see Africa in those things.
Yeah.
I tell you. Oh, tia, you bizarre, mammy, papa didn't cry. Also, peso ye. So the crypto, or the crypto name, how wide the be. What do you want, you know? And you're correct. You're correct. Royalty is worth. I won't say a lot much one call messy up. The video is rich. Yes, I know for. Will be a one over power with the minus. When yes, you can't yes, you can't. Both will now can waka. Go be shine, I say. The tina also Omukwa ye be
when yes, you can't yes,
Yep.
Now college goes away.
And what is one in BB? What is one in me? One in BB or nim. Anyway, so you can see it.
Yeah,
you can see.
I'm saying I'm off where he. I'm off where
yeah, I think
Fred Hitty.
Uncle Fred Hitty, man. So from the legend, I can also one thing. Entry insist upon say generational wealth, and then the dynasties and the empires. No, ye say ye idea communal. The legend card was wealth was communal at that time, and now share mostly okay. Maybe I can afford them and meeting their example. Usually, if free my many side na eba because a papa side na one share greediness be na beba. If my side never now of phone in idea. That was to implement that communal aspect of Yedie, even though the other part of history or say Biana Utumfone Arena is in AC and all. But what was communal? No moon is say Kwame Dia Ama Eddie Ama Dia Efia Bedi MFedia Yao Ebedi Intina and Ibre Sebia many blue because those great dynasties say Nanka and Ibre or her. In Kabako for betina nimdiano so. Anabako for tina nimdiano so nanko wuya and kasa I want to so ni market some yen on community mean. But one thing is again the influx of Western education. It preaches individualism. And to high cry away to say Elon money, all these big guys see. So unim kwanya obefa so be shine ebia Oracle una asia obeye.
Oh yeah.
He will be at the top. Microsoft in kwanya obefa so be shine Apple ase completely obeye just to be at the top. And no ana eba yenso system na you go school. Fine, almost say you about class. Now, why is it that changing na yankasi be we are the first? We are say automatically it miku obi sunsum. That Western education and also the division abayem. And when you say Ghana for ye in the pabako. But we say, oh, yeah, DNA say, but I can't know. Me assure says sana ne o anka Ghana cranking to me to be do you know. Kemet says sana ne tie say, oh, yeah, the way for. I don't think there would have been that cohesion, that unity for them to progress. And when the Asian way so now you say me be never 1 million should freely give. And I want to hear chira. And now so go to mission and legend each say, oh, me person make one say me person will be whom secret. Oh, secret by what secret are you hiding if it is wealth? So be what a person will be share. Chireno. No so ntimi fan bobra because say so nya budget na one sense you dey ho a eja toni dey no ba be told them if you have something and you don't teach others na say okohiem no obedane arm robber obedane gang leader that also not the beba and that is why
the babe worry over
yes or the babe worry over that is why at that time omuni said that wealth was communal it is a miminya of abefienya legend enya legend anti-tilianya. That is what they practice. It's more cointy. I believe when we also put up that practice, it will really help us.
Wow. I'm saying in the topic now very deep, decoding generational world lessons from African dynasties. I know say
me the book no link to chat it's now man phobus and timpacho only legend patron wait me post out to more yeah.
Lessons from African dynasty. I'm saying that expectation was to talk about money. And expectation them say if he say because can some yes and it with them say breaking it down. I'm in the link not to tea. I'm up for betting me as you and Ubina Kai say stick it to the point, maybe I won. And starting time into time no in very quick and I say will be so at me and you be Mr. Frimpong.
Yes, sir. Ejiamo, good evening. And then many aje topic no pa Mekai Misha at the age of 23, 24. We should move be my friend coming from America. Akwa no ye the phone krum. Na na wonim ni hundi. Ukodi obi ma so na asa nkwaye woni mu. Nti sama mo discuss no enye ide yankopon hyiram. Mr. Oben the bia said the kana kwa gu prempon enye black sherif de ni bia ko port mine. Mr. Oben yankopon hyiram. Anse so bia ba contract kese pa o so hia ko port na enye ide nyoma fama in person seminar review ye besan so aye na CV na chire no nukreni me de me hu hiem na nipa ne ba nukreni contract in the name de maya ma na ichina na de me balance abreme ti ye da mase yankubo nham obi nso nka ne de me da
that's it. Short. Don't say the kwakuye no. Sa. It's better.
Yo, ede me chache busiafo nyina. Dame so ben sabe fine. Yeni abema. Ayene ni programming. Nyame shama ne mo bibi yeni ama ye hunu. Yeni aba ye ho so. na sene can say yes bubi say if you want to talk to a person in another language na yes e konitrim, but if you speak to him in his language e kona koma ho ebi na ye kan kasa na ye kan nyina na ye kan ye kurum kasa intine ene intina ama encheche we nyina na ewba ewura ye say ebia nkekoye brofo kasa ka ye nte de ye kanase ba enam se eye ye kasa no yetimi tiase dom suko no ntino etimi ma ye tiase etimi dwen ho mienu mi ehunu de wo se ye enti nyame enhira mo se ne musika generation ayi no eni age ho pa na emi se ye kan bibi se ye ma ye no wo mo etie nyina na se yetimi bomoden yetutu kwan na ye ma entimi nka ye krum kasa ne ade ya mamre ne ya mane bebre wo ho a wo mu nnim because yesua de na yenim se ya broso ba bia ye duru no eni kwan se ye cheche ye ma no ntinu hu ebi mu ase de osini wo ma ekasa ne ade no ye ne krese ekoso pa na yemfa nya futu emfa nante especially yan yetu kwan ema titiriu yemfa entu ye hofo se enye we entimi mwa ye mane niye entine eni kwan se wo fere wa mamre ne wa mane wo ba bibiara wo bia no utwi kasa na wo kan se kasa wo kan wo krum no bomoden se obe kasa kire wo ma na wo krum ha me ne Cameroon bi na wa onde ne bamba me fie omunti omuni krum kasa ba akokora sei brofo ho na omoka nti omba ha me ka twi nti me de twi na me kan nti wunti a wuntimi ne mentina me fie me ba bia ne ho a woka brofo no okosu wo ba German wonka bi me no omuntimi nka no omuntimi nka wo fie twi na na omoka ntimi de omko fie a ye bisa omo se me ma na metete wo mo wo hefa na me tete wo mo abroche so omo ka twi wo ka twi we se wo kan rensem abeka se tete ne Ghana because wo ya ade a metia wa me de brof me de twi na betia metia wo so a wo beti de meka na because mentimi mfa kasa kuro no kasa metia nti me di mi krom kasa na me de tete me ma nti yemfa sa de wenya de sua nyema ye mane hunu ba bia ye firi e wosa ye ma ye mane enso ani gi e wo ba bia omoko so what ase e beboa ye pa se de esi church generational ayi no e beboa ye papa ye especially ye ye tutu kwan a ya to ya mamre ne ya mane atwene na ye ma no ye ma ye de brofo e na etete wo mo utimi hu obi a kuro a wo so no ekuro ne kasa nko a na woka onka hwe wonte hwe ukatwi a wonte ase na ohwe wanim saa edentia because maame no e kasa na ofi ni kunu kasa na ofi edi ensua trapa ne ye pe a wo se ye de saa de we ehihye ye ho so me pacho wo na me bisa se me wo question se ni yesu suansi amamre ne amane yi ekoba ne se sisi ye wo se awofo nso de to ye ho se wo se ye cheche man ye ne ye nka ye nkanifo ye ne ye di kan ye wo se ye cheche ye man because obi ntimi me nsa wo awofo ho nkokere wo ba no amamre ne wamane ne koba ne se wo maame ne ana awofo no unnimu a ede na wo se wo ye afa ye nsuku mu nso so se ne yesi cheche yi sisi ye pese ye mane hunu because enim se ye yiedie ni ye kanko nyina egina ya mamre ni ya man ye ni mu ni nyina emu na se so obedi ye egina wa mamre ni wa man ye wo se ohunu ni nyina ansa na watimi ye di ye busa wo ye suku nu mu a ye man ye nkyerɛkyerɛ saa ne ye man ni se busa se ye be ye dan e na ye man atimi ye hu ana ye wo suku bi wo ha ya ye de asi honom se ho de ye wo kwa ye kyerɛ mamre ni aman ye se ne ba ye man so betimi ye hu e wo ho e kosa e na me busa so mbetimi aboa me kakra apart from say awofo no so wunimu ade na wo beye because obi wo ha ama onim Ghana ho bibia wonim hwe wonim de wo se wo ye ono wo tu kwan kra na osa e na wakobo ne bra wo ba bi na wo no wo ba wonim hwe be da na wahu no wacheche ne ba afi nsuku nsusu ensumu no ye osuku bi wo ha obetimi de o manako na se bi ni ho a ede na wo se wo ye because wo pese wo ma no ohunu nko awofo untimi nye ede na wo se ye nye ntimi famwa ye mano so no munso hunu ya mamre ne ya mane no sisi a ye decode ye ne man ye decode uyen wealthy ede na ekwan ba so na wo se ye fa esese ye bo ye timi hunu ni nyina nya sa ebe ha yen bebre awofo no eme se ebu ha nimdi a wonim nti na ma ne ye sa wonim bu ha ne ye kan Ghana nsem a ye keka nyina wonim ho hwe nti on de ono de ope na wo so ye kwan ba so na ebe fa ebe timi hunu ne timi atete ye ma no na yɛn nso so yɛbɛtumi ehu sɛnea yɛbɛtumi adi yie wɔ mu sɛnea yɛkan farming system yɛmfuo sɛnea yɛsi yɛmfuo sɛnea yɛsi kasa sɛnea yɛdi aduane sɛnea yɛsi tena ase sɛnea yɛsi siesie yɛn ho sɛnea yɛsi kasa ne nyinaa ɛyɛ ne nteteeɛ a wɔsɛ wo fam ansa na watumi adi yie wɔnhu na wontumi nni yie wɔ mu da efisɛ no na yɛ nananom nyinaa nam mu kwan a sɛnea yɛsi kasa yɛ nana ɛde gold ne ayi tutɔ ne nsa ne ade yɛbɔ duku ne ade nyinaa ne nyinaa ɛyɛ nteteeɛ a yɛnyae na wonim a bɛyɛ dɛn na wahu ekosa na mibisa edamasi nyame hwa me nim sɛ mo nyina mbɛyi ma no edamasi Mr. Oben na me yɛ adom a program no so yɛhyehyɛ so dendenden paa yɛba butu yɛmfa ni agro nyame hwa mo bebree edamasi.
I think say when it comes to any day, I think Mama Riwo tree program be right. Anna
Tree class.
Your tree class on ma obetimi joining na betimi mo asua we. School no dey emphasis o England na wo ayi your friends in Australia over here. Won konya tree school no ho. Iti online dey na be na nye you be bre ho. You be amafo be bre o ma church sa na na opese usua o man kwara ne sua tree na obetimi mo asua. Na history ni aden kakra usu na so chiro. Mama read
so wonnim no say we here because twen afiri de ye ho se be obetime die so afa ye bibia eni ntina omo konko asomu no sesa omo din ka cho so wontimi nka okrom kasa sesa wonson wo trinwi kura na pem ye bu bebebe nyina na ye system abrofo yusu ye wo se wo de no de antibroni wo hia obi a ne trinwi ye mpesa won be o
Any be crowd the show
oh, instead of breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, kwaka for na say winti no omadwa. What's on network no. Yeah. I think that Auntie Albert usually some information we there it will be hard so benya obi say bia when time say or share and also say nti say video see no sometimes here obitimi kra na nkra no atena ho ahwe. There are other people also shows more cancer you want papa be a friend of Anthony Browder or talk more about this history or can want some and I feel so your best and immediate way of being information here through books, honestly through books until your books are hold be or your book be or your link be a other books be or Mr. Opambo or gada books be brave or a PDF version because our books you a hard copies no can unya and it is unya access to that link and I'm happy to share the link for both meet me and Ashama na will be your person or reading more about history and say you know it has to start from reading books honestly now Fabia one kasa all search you on YouTube now but say obenyu be pass ebia why you that say or tray you need it can be hard so books and watching videos online but most importantly reading books so more parking can there about history inside need the now feel YouTube on so amamre ni amane ho anema bebre YouTube they can start watching from there and then they should also visit Ghana. That is the most important. They should visit Ghana and experience it.
As I would only take his guy very. So we better say. As I will visit Ghana, F5, you call Ghana that 2,000 a year as a temper. Who said that for? So we better say, Mama really link no. Because link no the mommy, I'm some food be submitting their tomb now. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Bibi say no dey just one na odi hu djuma one na wo search and this time so as school na ye dey wo kon udi ye ya da bi we no one na wo say omo ani bre na wo search na wo dey mom
Pacho Martin da sepa. Na me ka say ebi asisi no o me plan say nka me pese me do mo befi. But obi a school a pese mo de won say school na ko say brofo nkwa na yeka. E na sa ne ma no so ye nkyere wo school. Enti ne be dem me nso me pese mo hunu. What I say although me ye ma fa me de but obi ko school no on ti bibia sa wo ho. Ninti na na ma
school no dey say omukọ Ghana school na ti say hey ade nti wa na wo so wo yes ade.
Okay. Okay. That's it.
Pacho more links na say manfo bi sentino. Tree class no na say you know. And till you kasa yente wo kasa o.
Our phone.
Kasa no phone pa.
Our phone. Yep, Abba.
I feel all they are too mute. Okay. I'm say no say
Pacha,
okay. I feel you too kasa.
I make us say Ghana dear, obetumi anya private teacher ama omo a. Obetumi omo say history ni tree no a chetenka anye course le kura. Nanka the sister akoso dear no. Omo nya maaye na kodo omo ka class no. Because so omo ka class no mesu aka omo te kasa no dear. Omo betumi abisa questions and ase maame no kura betumi aka bibi kwan mu niema a opɛ sɛ ɔmo hu no but sɛ Ghana deɛ obenya teacher ama wɔn kama yeah obenya private teacher ama wɔn yeah
Okay, that's it. Na mpacho link na ya na ma share ma kakra no online.
Pacho, I don't know just who send Marie number into the number to her. That's sending the message.
Okay.
And this is kasa
ayo na me ka sɛ for some reason bere kasa na na me twerɛ to ha sɛ na woman so abɛbisa na me ka sɛ wɔ sɛ Mr. Oben nneɛma egu so dɔɔso but sɛ ɔbɛnya ahoɔden anka ɛwɔ sɛ wotumi bie school bi a yɛfrɛ no ɛka ne sɛ Wealth Creation Academy and na yɛde history no so aka ho because ayi ansa na nka yɛ mma ɛbɛwie school na sɛ ɔma no na mu asuasua saa agyank yɛgu wɔ mu tiri mu ɔyɛ no nka akora no wie junior high pɛ na kɛde no akɔ hɔ nti nka ɔhɔ saa school no deɛ ɔkɔsua ne sɛ ɔkɔsua history no asan asua Wealth creating no so ɔmfiri school no mfiri mu no na kyerɛ sɛ ɛnam sɛ yɛnni bi wɔ yɛ system no mu so wo sɛ wokae wo sɛ yɛnkyerɛ yɛn kwan yɛbɛfa so ayɛ saa adeɛ no akreti wei no nti sɛ nka yɛnya school bi for saa nka ɛbɛboa paa nti no teachers so deɛ nka teachers a wɔn wɔ ɔbɛn daako ayi mu a ɔyɛ wɔn teachers no wɔn a bɛtumi kura saa akyerɛ adeɛ wɔ hɔ ama na ɔsɛ amontɛmɛ nka
Oh, yeti. Auntie Juliet.
Okay. Nti no nka bɛboa ɛna afɛ so na mɛka biribi sɛ dressing na asɛm a na Mr. Oben ka no sɛ wohwɛ mo paa ayi nipa tuntum baabi a yɛyɛ firi no ebi akatafo kurom abɛgu ha akura sɛ wɔmutumi ɛyɛ wɔn ho kamakama sɛdeɛ na Mr. Bɛɛfi ka no aborɔfo no wɔn hyɛ dɛ anim hwee saa o wɔn hyɛ dɛ anim hwee saa wɔbɛtumi anya sika ɛkɔn ho bɛyɛ sɛ wɔwɔ sika pansɔn dress onim says saa nneɛma no nyinaa ne na kɔ together nti ya no we have everything it's just that wɔn use media no ɛde ade ato fam mekɔhyia maame bi wɔ Sam's Club na mewura hɔ papa which is I think it was Sunday ana hyia no Sam's Club mehyia no pɛ na mekɔ akɔtɔ new eyeglasses na obisa me sɛ mekasa na ɔsɛ meyɛ Ghanani na mse a meyɛ Ghanani ɛna ɔsɛ oh saa na o glasses yɛhyɛ wɔ ayɛ den to bisabisa m kɔhyɛ nam so mebɛkɔ Ghana metu kwan akɔ Ghana nti nka mepɛ new glasses prescription ne ade ɔsɛ na Ghana deɛ ɔkɔyɛ den ɛna mbisa sɛ mekɔyɛ den sɛ me bɛɛ kurom 40 years ni o na me deɛ Ghana deɛ na wɔ Ghana mete sɛ obi kɔ Ghana ɛna mbisa sɛ when was the last time I called Ghana? Or so one day on Krano, one for factory or Ghana. One we a school or Ghana now, but I'm now they say, well, they Ghana too for me, dear, serious. School banner we or Ghana, so or nursing school. And I'm saying to we nursing, oh, yeah, Juma, oh, there be me, Yana, me baha. And I'm saying, one year service, couldn't to ya, a canna, I buy the share one. Also, send here, me kunu, me, eye doctors, and saying, Yaban, Yaban. And only kunu, so ye, doctor, intino. Only 40 years, I'm sister, Yanko Yachi. 40 years, near 40 years, into once. The same who say, we are school, no, dear, now your ma got Ghana and Sana, who film. Aye, yeah, any opportunity, and I'm so opportunity in a billion near him. Ghana now they to form no. Send 1 year school, Ghana, wa, and car buy no, car science are we and the send an idea remoa, Eddie Ababa, doctor, also, we share name. Aye, wouldn't near my aya or Ghana ho. Ghana, dear, obedient to me, Ghana, you. Nyame penny bit me, I Ghana ye. And I'm say, America, Nyame, ya America ye. Beso chili me. Nyame, and a ya America ye, and I say, nipper won't mind him. I said, no, the government in the was so, and I'm say, government, bay. You could have many private sectors, private companies near you. It is a wo casa would the Ghana too for me. So we are from Mudia. And I would your doctor and way enough from Mudia and Kagana, Empija, Entimin. I Ghana, the Obian who betting I and I'm sister.
Now can't just say what Ghana chrono. 1 year service.
And ya meneno, what 2 mamma no matoma, 2 mamma no matoma, and I'm catching and say, Unim. Mo, oh, I feel what you mean, Sam, so when your crank will be did him at them. May say more, won't call for be say, Muntin and call for mu African. Not another doctor back in chain. Now, yes, it's you. Because look at the way I would the Ghana to form. So Ghana never were education. I would the backroom habit to us. So many African countries. So many countries in Ghana, Ghana, ye. And to baby a friend, dear, a bit more dream, a hard dream, Papa Panti. Yet, they try you, see about this year, even cross or this year by your program. Nasa me cost na me tie the way a ebi mu omu Ghana omu hunu nyina ye YouTube. Enti de akoso wo YouTube na no omu de gye Ghana. Sene Ghana sitie. Enti ye betena akwantu omu ne ya nkoa saa because
Auntie Tilly. Unim Ghana de yenkwa na yempe ho asemu. First time I metina play munam ye ko Asia ko fa ne ma beton me ne madam fo. Ye ti play ni mana other French speaking countries for na no mutim no. Hwe ya say ye French speaking for ni bi. I see you Ghana yes yes no mani agi ni ma ko he madam fo nanim. I go for ma boda mana. Just say o mani agi so mo hu Ghana fo. Well, see, we are see me free this West African country, Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, I'm saying, oh, so you know a little bit about us. Yeah, you need to fire who, and you throw on a yejinchia. So yeah, and yejinchia, no ye muya hosa. So omu buyen, but ye muya. This yeah, they are want to form.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, want to say, let me copy a video. Biswa Nigeria for young men who my whole video motiti Nigeria passport. Nigeria is a bad country. Nigeria is no motiti omukitabo passport no motiti. So I hardly so be Ghana near what Ghana passport say. Now say Mr. One year or saying Okita he passport ya no the Ghana to for me ni petro another pa. It is all hemo pa. Yanya bad sa. But in one more morning, I don't know. We do see her. I think that must say was not for.
Yeah, Pia. Yeah, like ne kati. I'm crying because I'm say Danso.
Mr. Danso, yes.
Danso, okay.
Yes, sir.
Is that Danso? Na
Ah,
eko say.
Example.
Eko say.
Oh, you go there. Yeah, boy, Juma.
YouTube channel ni ade na eko kama.
Oh, nyame adom e papa.
Okay.
Yeah, for na. Manya I studio light na me to be near set up. I just said. Me and I just na say.
It's a mistake. Eko say. Let me story ni dosu. Kwesi every one go fix am.
Me have
To
a
be near
grab
set
ye
up.
chakra.
Me tena ho na ma say na bibia be bu na ma so.
That's all. Pe kora bi robo
Me
yeba. Let it you because.
yes
Legend, me pacho
yes
bet ma
me
post
yes
books no PDF ni link na to you know me send ye ba manfo busa.
Abi dey atumu.
Okay.
But it been so very free Legend YouTube ni nti omo so busa.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry,
Me
Mr.
da
Danso.
to.
Sorry.
So that's cool. Me person next time we back now
Yo,
we
where there?
fix it, you know. Why? Yeah, of course.
Oh, me. Is it? I do 1 week wo me me fix it. There was me na me ma boys be ma me. Where there me better must say topic and that do the ho hia pa. Ya mamre no. E mu bi de nke ya nsia Legend na nke enim say mamre no ho hia but you sua no. Faso ade abre ndi bebre. Amasisi a no ugina ba bia na ho kasa. Oh, to me. Na kasa no so to me di akiri. And me na ba ko afiri mu a. Ya na ye di abubu. Nti mo fa ba ko frɛ me fi Germany. Na ye kasa. Oh, in fact obi de motor ball no. Nti ofrɛ me na say Ghana ho de sa mra nya aduma. Na mo so fa. Germany ho a wo. Nti accident is yo. Obi a mfa ka mo obi. Ana sign accident any crime a ɛkɔ so wɔ hɔ yi nti ɛno deɛ wohu bi anaa hɔ no ntie hɔ news nti na ayɛ sɛ sɛnea yɛde yɛ man toto fam yi a ebiara na ɛkɔ so na menya adagye ne kasa paa bɛyɛ 30 minutes afei na ogyina phone so di ɛnam so wɔfa ti a wote hɔ yi wokɔ aburokyi na mesua na meyɛ akɔkɔla sɛ hwɛ baabi a m'ani adu so menhu ade titiriw biara a wɔabɛyɛ nti ti a wote hɔ yi mfa so wobɛnkɔra nam so.
What's that poetry for with you? With your family show.
Tabi na mani abre na abre ho ba na ni bre so aba because abusua no ye abusua no koye abrochi se won ko anti bibisi ofie a won hye da nya anyi bia mpanyimfo aka no ba ko no odi mu na sesei atoro nkyem ya befa na ko nti na ni bre aba na o se metumi mia mani na mekeka ma adwen ti me kan ya me ne gye achinyi a na mse hwɛ ne ewu hu sesi a no enye yen o obi na di bibia ye na nkɔpem so yɛ ni bɛba yɛn ho so na so wo sisi a wo kan wo te Germany wo de Germany toto Ghana ho so ɔmo de ɔmo systems yɛ adwuma na systems na yɛ adwuma no unim nkoasom a yɛn yakɔ mu de ama ɔmo unim bra yɛn yabre ama ɔmo a ɔmo ahyehyɛ ɔmo systems a ɔmo de yɛ adwuma na de wo de twa yɛn boy na system no kora yɛ adwuma no wo te ho wo mɛtena ha bi na wo nso so waboa ama yɛn nso so yɛ de ni nti na wo ka ko sisɛn dia trade na adane lecture na ayɛ 1 way meka kro ntumi nka bi na ni nyinaa so ne sɛ sɛ yɛhu ɛna sɛ yɛsua nti o kasa o ni ba bi a o ka ko du na nipa no so hyɛ ase sɛ o kasa na ohu na adwen ba bi kro no so ka kwa kosi enti yɛbɛda ase na yɛaka sɛ yɛgusu a yɛsua de na nso so ɛwɔ sɛ afoforo so ehu ne yɛn so kakra na yɛhu no yɛsa ɛsɛ afoforo so hu so mfa so enti enye easy because bebre na saa dream tie yo munye nyae na enam so munye nyae no so nti no oni omo kasa na so oni omo hia na se munkita hodie no ya na enkoyie because sia o ti hoi na setna o ti mu se sie enkoyie na me kire na se nti sia wa bagana na o te ha nka bebu ada wodan a o ti mu kura o so nkonwa kura o ntimi fa bi nsi because dan no musa
adwuma na de dan na ma wo nti se si a na adwuma no efiri wo nsa a dan no so efiri wo nsa nti na te out ho no ofa so be na wo so nti wa bagana ha na wabu ada na afi ofa ayemre ofa edi a se na ofa se na lecture so nti are also nti and that in fact ase na yenim minim se bibi say na ye ba besua ne nne because hard way yenkrofo no bebre e ko ahohiahia nneɛma nsɛm a ɛmfata ato wɔn a wɔn gu so wɔn mia wɔn ho ahyɛ mu ɔtim a ɔno koraa ka ato so sɛ aborɔfo a ɔne wɔn yɛ adwuma a binom akɔ retirement sɛ ebi mu koraa deda abɔnten ɛnam sɛ ɔno koraa ɔte ne kurom ɔda abɔnten na Ghana ha nipa dodoɔ sɛ na ɛda abɔnten ɛnam sɛ me nana hwɛ fie a osii yɛ a ansa na ɔwu hwɛ abusua fie sese koraa yɛn nyinaa yɛ ni hɔ dan deda hɔ ayie ba na mu yɛ ma but ɔmo system no nte saa nti deɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo kyɛn so ba we mu nyinaa no sɛ biribi antie mfiri wɔ adwene mu a unhu ne nyinaa so mfa so unhu wobɛkɔ so de wo ho atoto fam saa ebi so wonim amammerɛ wonim nti wonim baabi a wofiri baeɛ wonim ne ɔwokura mu koraa kɛyɛ nsase a yɛte so baabi a kaa kwan koraa a yɛnam so yi pɔtoo ɛbɛtɔ hɔ na sɛ aburo firi tɔ mu a na afifi ɔho nso kɔ baabi a yɛsɛ yɛhyɛ da yɛ anwea ansa na adua adeɛ wɔ mu nso yɛde nyame ama bi hɛ yɛtwa nsuo kura ama no ba yɛ water table no yɛ such a way sɛ nsuo a yɛwɔ underground no yɛbɛtumi de ayɛ irrigation all year round all year set coastal areas no nko a mpona no kakra bi na ɔmo deɛ no yɛ salty a ɛbɛha adwen yɛ a yɛwɔ every middle belt a akɔsi north deɛ yɛwɔ nsuo bebree yɛbɛtumi de ayɛ all year round farming wei nyinaa yɛnim wei nyinaa yɛbu no abɔmfia na yɛkra nneɛma a yɛdi de ba na yɛte bibi ɛte sika kɔkɔɔ so anaasɛ yɛte nneɛma so ɛbɛboa yɛ ama yɛtumi ayɛ saa deɛ wei koraa sɛ ayɛ sport bi akɔ amono ne akɔgye ho sika na obi a ɔno yɛ anwea ɛwɔ dɛm ɛwɔ lab ɛtumi dua vegetables brɛ wo ma wɔwɔtɔ di na system bɛɛ na yɛra no nti mpanyinfoɔ wei deɛ mɛma mekasa ngɔ bebree ɛnam ayɛ very emotional nti mɛgya ama obi so aba na
That's what
wabɛto ase
what the
nokora ne deɛ
what the abema officer what the
maka pa manka kora nga me ho nto
that's Max 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 o kasa yentio se o kasa okay
hello
kasa yentio
oh okay,
yes,
okay. Oh, okay. Good evening. Obia for your friend Max. Menina na ya na waha na say waboko, but Miankasa no mimpie into no meaning Matana Virginia have 15 years. Most people don't know me. But I have been following. I have been following the series from day one. Actually, Nanaya started, I was one of those people who was jostling him on the concept. And yes, I was skeptical about the Ghanaian attitude. So, but he persisted. I would say that I'm very, very encouraged and very proud of his tenacity. He's very tenacious. So I discussed a few things with him. We share ideas every now and then. And I wanted to officially come and also introduce myself to the folks here. I've been here for 15 years, like I said. Before I made Virginia, I was in Florida for another 10 years. And, total, I've been 25, and I want to go back.
Because this was 25.
Yeah. I want to go back. and I've been planning to go back for a while now. I have a lot going on in Ghana, and I'm one of the few people that you see, and I won't talk unless you're very close about what I'm doing. But I have stuff going on in Ghana. A lot of them are in incubation stage. I've been at it. I've been at it seriously for about 5 years since 2020. In fact, when COVID hit, that was when I decided to
How's it? Bro, for the
I'm also switching country, man.
oh,
Yeah, it's
ah,
Hey, bro, for the
oh, Miss Sam, okay, but you, me
Oh, your friend is a big pond for tilapias.
Oh, I'll come to that. Not me person me
Yeah,
mommy who
big one,
introduction. So it's
I
okay. Mess up was that me can I say but I could be film my bro for never film my number the actually. It's now me can say me person me come back into me start here about 5 years ago. So me yeah the groundwork Me passion here two areas: agriculture and music. Yeah, the agriculture and me. I was the Crofona secondary school, primary school cry. Third time, yeah, mama senior them cry. You know, me complain, yeah, me now for ball and I'm in my room. Yeah, there. I mean, I said that should be a so bound for some. You know, that has been my passion. My ventures now, me interested in is all centered around agriculture. So far, I have started with one, which is the fish farming. I started with Eastern region, and me model, not me person me BBR complete. I am the kind of guy I'm believing in starting something haphazardly. Na me person me BB standardized, and some officially me can't say be a me BB. Me nature no. So I didn't shut down standard be me feel say any. Into the last couple of years, me tried the concept of fish farming, and I'm a aquaculture consultant, Bia Obuame, and the Eastern Regional Director of Fisheries, Okofodia. Me site waterfall, one with Nimsa area, no. So Ufri Kofodia call Linda Door, which is the trunk road that connects Kofodia to Accra main road, a far or pass Kukurantumi Junction. I have a building there. It is the tallest building in the area. My plaster in painting here. Dunham Highway, a 4-story building by the highway. That's my building. And directly behind the building, I have about 6 plots of land. And I'm a track Takradia pond, I have 450 feet by 30 feet ponds. 4 of them. I combined 2 into 1. So there are 3 ponds there if you get to that area. My wall in Kakra, so from the street and about a honest slope. So if you get down, you get to the ponds. So that's where I must start the pilot. And to say that I make earlier on, my person may bring something to the standard into my ponds, even though I earthen pond, me all the piping, which means we were piping for inflow into the ponds, my piping for outflow, and my piping for overflow. So anyway, we're not holding me back because over the pipe will be to form where all the connections. So far, I have finished with all that infrastructure. My person may want it out now, me holding people into my person may run it through, but I will have a detailed, if there's any questions, I'll have a detailed presentation of what's going on. All the 4 ponds, I started the pilot for catfish and tilapia. So far, they were good. I've had a few challenges, but so far, I'm very impressed with the output. Marketing, was a little shaky, but who say networking with time and be home. Flyers going out here and there. So far, so good. I'm not in any way uncomfortable with the marketing. But there's work to do. Yeah, in Ghana, the attitude is and I'll share one very quick thing. Me ton me tilapia no. O ton the raw, they sell it by weight. It the size of the fish and the quantity determines how much money. But me strategy be me quantity kakra and I'm then share hon I'm hatai. Me ni Kobe myself. Me sika me free Kobe kakra anymore was almost the amount na me ton raw no. Which brought to mind something that we've been talking about, adding value to agricultural produce. Kobe kakra me share no Kobe ni a ton of single, yan ton by weight. Into me for back one, me to make us 20 Ghana. Whereas at 20 Ghana, it would have been about 15 of the live fresh fish because you're ton by weight. And 1 pound is like 20 Ghana or 25. Whereas you could be back one between 20 Ghana. So that is something that I have come to the realization, say, if you want to do fish farming and you have any insight, let's talk. I have done the infrastructure, but what I want to present Waha quickly is that if there's anybody who has the interest to get into fish farming, maybe you need pond, maybe you need all those things. I have all the infrastructure. Besides the pond, maybe pumps, both gasoline pumps, electrical pumps, and solar pumps. I have aerators. Aerates provide oxygen to the water. Me water testers, me fish nets for harvesting, for sorting. The good thing is that maybe site na mekano stream with chain. There's a stream. The oil free area, there's the barrier stream at Damasas in chain. So I have unlimited constant supply of nsuo for the pond. And me mention the fisheries director for Eastern Region, Mr. Osei. Wabe testing nsuo who said the quality is very good. Stream with ankasa no tilapia ne catfish naturally. And Kromofo no be fish from the stream on the regular. They be an because Mr. Sombabi we am a fish. So or say my site is one of the most very prominently suited site for fish farming. And I'm say me quite sorry, Ben. I'm so me said I'm quite sorry, but me bump every day. So in a nutshell, my plan, let's say, if you want to get into the business, but we need any of the facilities as I've talked about, come talk to me. Me will cycle 6-month cycle. Yeah, fish now it takes a maximum of 6 months. All we do is that you invest into the fish and the feed. We come into an agreement. You get a percentage of your investment every 6 months. If you want to repeat a cycle with me, we do that. If you want to take your money and walk, you can do that. But at least I want to provide the infrastructure for anybody interested in that business. If you have your own land and you can do it all well and good, I will help you with all the experiences that I may have to give you the best output. But if you also feel so we need the, but we are interested, you want your money to work for you, this is the model I have. Every 6 months, if some starting cycle now, you have to wait until my turn. There were 4 ponds. I'm going to have tilapia and catfish alongside because I want to diversify my portfolio of fish. Say your starting cycle, then you may have to wait if I have enough people for that cycle. Each pond, will take a maximum of 10,000. 4 ponds, will be 20,000 for catfish at the point and 20,000 for tilapia. Maybe one extra space I'm able to a fit pond, which I'll do next 2 weeks. In fact, the same Mr. Oseno is the one providing all the manpower for 2 pond, and dress the ponds. I see next 2 weeks the boys will be ready. And if they make the fit pond in the back, that would open one extra cycle for anybody interested. And make a Nana, I'll say I'm going to pilot that with this group and see how it goes. And if it's works out
Hello.
that we would increase the numbers. Now, the last thing is that the
Oh, sorry.
Tafo site, you know,
Just few minutes. I'm in for a back. Why? Me wrap
okay,
up on the Zoom program.
okay.
Let's not for back.
So the last thing is that the site in Tafo, which is a pilot, you know, is a much smaller site. There's a much bigger site at our central region, which is where I really want to have that dream, you know, actualized. It's a 40 plot site. I just concluded the documentation and everything. The plan is that if this model works out, I would extend to the central region where I have these ponds and go through the same cycle like Miya or Tafono. So this is the nutshell of what's going on. The agriculture is just one aspect of the business, but for now, no, I will limit the discussion here with the fish pond. But there are other ventures that I'm also involved in. Like I said, you know, the passion is music, agriculture, and in between music and agriculture, no, I have some other things going on. But I discuss. So I wanted to be as brief and also leave the floor for any questions if anybody wants to have anything clarified. Mr. Mobrofo no mentimi I'm fan check to the mo fan chem chino so
Yeah.
if there's any question.
Yeah, many your friend saying many marks be Wednesday paradigm shift. Eti what question about me aba na oye niam bebre also for say oni amanfo ye collaboration bebre niam de bebre am say fish pond no ka ho ase.
Yeah, I mean
minya kamene all started or the be me so o kana na ya na ya me say nipa be say
obi friend Patrick your friend na ya because we can for the yinim na na ya
so eti paradigm shift e be share ho Wednesday na obey episode or church name episode so many of them na wa pese we no ye way no join it that's my the numbers na no episode no join tilapia no Max me no na start here we say academy dey breme
me package could be bia bro, don't worry.
Is a could be so there ne boy dey had you okay that's it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah up here Anna say Mr. Danso Akasa yeah up here hey na
morning
who's your visit
yeah na yanu for the one na adena article
yeah
the chair busafo yina the chair panimfo so ben salute
Yes, our boss.
welcome morning yeah me lecture abako o call lectures
morning even at home at the morning
me lecture abako o call lectures 8 p.m. cry medical school no chia good afternoon I say still afternoon nti eno anu no so ko ba bi so ade ache nti eno anu aha legend Zabafi generational wealth so be ya beti ase legend na no ka say yedie kan yedie a enye sika nko a na pomuden ka ho influence a wo society mo ka ho respect a yede ma wo impact a wo make wa pomuden titru na said ye wo feel at peace ewo mu enti say na ye extend echo the generation no dia na che say na nye nipa ba kope ana say nye wo nko na obenya sa benefit we nyina wo say wasefo nyina na che say discussion no na ye de awia ne sa ana say edimu enti leje me question ni say wasɛm a wo kan nyinaa sɛdeɛ wo kyerɛkyerɛ mu wo deɛ wo se na kyerɛ sɛ yɛntumi ndi yie wɔ abra a yɛwura fi yɛn nkyi o ana anyɛ saa na akan
So I did.
Nti me say mbisa no sɛ yɛ mu na asisi a no yɛto nnwom bi sɛ nananom som abosom na yɛndi yɛbɛsom Yehowa. Nti saa nkurɔfoɔ yi a yɛto saa nnwom yi yɛdie no yɛbɛnya bi anaa yɛayera anaa yɛnempampa no so.
And yes, I see you now more course right.
Na yɛ nana na ɔno no ɛnam ne so ne nimdeɛ mu onyinsɛn yɛ a wanyi yɛn ngu ɔmo time koraa no na ɔmo nim sɛ Jatropha ɔmo plant bi ɔmfrɛ no Jatropha saa plant no ɔmo nim sɛ yɛ very potent ɔmo ka na abortifacient kyɛ sɛ etumi yi ba. I was so much the right answer or you say any. Nim say it me cause abortion. They knew it, but they did not use. And I say I no be about no man you say abortion no crazy illegal. I'm more the away you or mama yaba. Yeah, buy and yes, or more soon na chiro almost says I'm no man in you. Yeah, say sabi yɛn kwase asɛm nti yɛdidi ɔmo atɛm saa no legend ɔmbɔ yɛ dua yɛnya yɛbɛyɛ yie.
Yeah, this asom no brɛ wo no so by so be condemn wo ba bia wo firi a enye nyame som no de ba enye Kristo som no de ba wo kuta na agenda dada was a Paul call as book of Acts was ma mase me be bɔ mu sobro ba asem be kyerɛ mu nyame na muni ne dada no kwasi broni wa feka sa adre was ye de bibia anye mi wa so na no mo so som bosom na bi wan condemn no de ese na mo so bosom mechanism o mo use ye ne nkrofo no de sum wote ha na odwen se na nanom som bosom na wo na obekɔ heaven you dey call heaven so on say so bre because the nyanza na ye di ye wa ha no wo condemn ba bia free a win you bro no onim sa o ma wo condemn ho a nko onim da eno kre waka jo say why na catch there say wo kwa asoro na o hia bro ni asan ko no o hia nyame why na kan
kwasi broni
yeah o Bible muza
Davi.
Yes. Into ono wo fa bibi no odi bibi fa ho. Wo the poison be no odi doko bi fa ho. The true gospel is no hatred of others and their culture. The true gospel is no hatred. To be my po wa mamre baby all free within a condemn on and more. And your gospel no they buy it with a different agenda to subjugate you. Inti uze yenko for say you ekire. Idoko akurana se no nipa a wabosi to abota okuta Bible wabosi to be a year say amoko no kwa so for no kwa ntuma no mfra bi. So
mfra bi o. Ise omu po de omu ndi culture no so oba wa se no fight.
Omu ndi culture no kwa omu fanya he. And this aso for no ntimi nkyere wo yedie ma na nyeye. Because wa condemn no. Jopa hwenkrofo mu di na chie. Emu do za na e.
Akwam ni nkyere mu.
Your identity. Wa ankasa de wo ye no. Abrabe di ye da. De ntia wontimi eni ye no because woni akokudro wo mu, woni gidie wo mu biem. Nipa bia wonyi ne huni. Na wonyi baby wo free eni na wo mu ho. Na wonfa ni die ma ho. Na wonhu ne pe wo ho no. Wontimi nyeye. Eno ne sebe de omode ba. To mo condemn ye bibia. It will condemn who wontimi niye. That's the way, the best way to raise slaves is to condemn where they come from. and one who acquire the year.
Abi.
And I can tell you, so long as the for and I'm also preaches our message, you know. We preach here for the only
Ohia na no mo bo ho
Yeah,
da.
bro. How do you?
right.
Research? Guys, not mine. I don't take this type of bread.
Mo to mo bo, mo
I
to mo
take
bo. Eh, ka tu
so
how.
Nti omo koso ayi mem.
Aha.
Nti odi ohwe Ghana ni bi oti abro chiri bi ayi no ho ti se broni tambia ayi no ho broni. Goye. Ozo omo na condemn Ghana no. Na why na bit ma condemn ba bi ofiri. Abra wodi ye.
Wadi.
Mind them ya. Arab fo ho. Arab ni wanya sika ho, wajja Arab di. Wajje omukrofo de omujo mukro ko China obi a watimi ahyehyɛ no ma ebi no is very proud Chinese. Ko America, very proud American. Britain, he said, how many Ghanaians? And also Madie. One more condemn we. And to be condemned, and just also be here. Indirectly, one can't tell, but that's it. Because who want the Papa Biao? Who want the Papa Biao? To own sorry, no more church. I want to say no more trouble for no. Headi para o hot do no bre. Pero pa ko check.
Wow.
Yeah, go check it. Okay, go check it. I'm sorry,
Lion.
I'm sorry. No. There's no heritage, sense of identity. I know a school no say they say.
Oh, madam. Oh, madam ambulance. Mitiana, wow.
School no say they say yeah. Crack in here, tell me how it about Ghana buy am father Juma what me just say. We need kukuduro. Oye na say pen na baba bu.
Onim so betumi adokoko aye.
Debi. We need respect to crowd. So I go school. No, na papa do koko. Or no go school no koko no grow muno. Because you're a secretary or you're an ambassador. And you're Ghana na ehwe no. Dan kra go zibi. The boy Kazamboa.
They pay 2,000.
Say, "Uyi Ghana free mo a o mama bra." Chira me mu do say the one na pie ni mponche. School pen wo koye na Ghana na ehwe no. Because akukuduro e de chichiri yedie no. So one kasa wo chichiri. You weave your own system. That one, if you're not strong and courageous, you can't do it. And how can you be strong and courageous if you don't know who you are? And not proud of where you come from? It's impossible. To the upper catch a fool come here. We Ghana free. Hey, as a minister, or you we busy, or Montimisha share. Hey, Ghana, dear no mutafre home. Telling you. Because the courage, the pride is not there. They don't know who they are. Until I was a generation, no. Omo kasa bia Kwame Nkrumah kra pre ho no kope independence ma ye no se koma brofun die so wayira brofun die so
Some of the South Africa example.
That's right. South Africa ye didn't want him obroni sem sa brofun we be here over 200 and something years. Britain Britain we had Portuguese for one by nyina no 14th century no mo na mpona no se nya asante na no mo koye ko mo fa nyina no mo di ha no ade papa be no mo ye factory be no build there. School papa be university be no mo chichiri. And so bit me sorry when go school. The both who say Kwame Nkrumah di I didn't even say any found here. Because what do you know?
I said UGCC so self-governance within shortest possible time. I saw Mukro no munye ready.
My boss sit about time of a guy. Pause there. So once you know my way to that, what do you say, Bruni in your bonita? Because who genity? And I crash for it. This is it. Omujo mudi. Kofobi brave for if you want to America. Omu Bruni di. And Omu 10 years no more condemn ye. Ghana ho dey say he ni ho. Ghana obi be na no akasa bia no. Wayra. Kura me catch no. And be brave ti abrochire. And be brave ya crash for Omu ko university of Ghana. Brave professors. They are in their 60s. They break. Why? The history is not there. Be crying penny for a crumuha. Uno metani be Asia. Uno Mukasa. We are brantia now. You're at home. Because with this 70 hours and go to also a gin who didn't know Ginny Mindy or cancer and Papa Fire. Who drew up in a bottle? Telling you. So I could go and go for make a be a professors. Or a professor in the education who Bruni desire to control him. Not the one that will give him freedom. That's why Nkrumah was different. Maybe beer. Some of them knew the tradition and the culture, but not the Pan-African education. Where you saw the pride, wisdom.
Okay.
So, no more who your heritage.
Okay.
Nkrumah knew that. That's why he was strong.
Internal legend.
Yeah.
Just say,
who hear mu pa? Prince Kasana. The entire yeah Ghana and yeah who and Omoma Kenya who Nkrumah normal is because in the books, you know, Ghana for banning. They ban his books. But the other African countries, they have his books.
They didn't.
No.
Okay.
So the depth of the book will be a kind. Whether you agree with the first 5 years, 6 years was fantastic. Yes, the first 4 years was fantastic. Actually, now I'm saying no, maybe a mixed year, but he was one of our best intellectuals. Very deep. And normally Brian go for him, I hate you. Yes, I knowledge, you know. But no. Hope our penny book should be a kind. For you, piece I'm not on Jane. Kusia. I have made the abro for it. Tony.
Some of these traditions and certain things outside.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah, bro.
Nti uhia mu pa na hye se de agropo ya ye pa de ka wase ye life nyina ye de produce weapons say ye de twen omo ye de ko revenge.
There is nothing. This one is plastic. It will fall down.
Esu sisi ana say
You do
mate
what
say
you
ye
want
kra
to
ya
do.
ko sane we bi kra say nuclear weapon de ye produce bi da. Obo call you engineer meeting.
Yeah, we don't need.
Agenda.
Yeah, and we don't need a nuclear weapon to fight this battle. We don't need a nuclear weapon to fight this battle. Senior engineers have shown the way to win this
You are
battle,
a friend
and it's
online.
easy for us to win this.
You do it
And
at home.
the best way we can win this battle, and a senior engineer actually, when you have something good, what they did to us, and they said, at the paper piano, na ye among ourselves. Generational health no uko obusuafie na obuse bibia panyin na ka kire wa onyu sika panyin ko en ahohia anan na hofe se na ofa ase aba na se oh ofa ade uye ne se obetu sisi. That was who we are. That's our culture, and they knew this, that the only way they can break us is to take that thing from us. It don't make a selfish individual. We think about ourselves first. Is bibia na we bibia boom. To look at the way architecturally na musi dan twehia etu betimi no maame nua matena na munim o ma mem na wale 4 ba na enim se we maame ni yenyi didi bom ye no aduane bom udi obi aduane obi ayo maame obi ayo na it not there was a bound between us. That was who we are, and the white knew this, and the only way to break us is to make us self-individual, selfish, and that's the results are here. And the senior have shown us the way. Share it. Don't think as send your school I won't absolutely first no. Share among them. So far as I say that model now you see you see the same model no. Eddie mom who selfish individual no. Let's say it go back to what our ancestors were doing. We can defeat. We don't need missiles. We can easily defeat them. We don't need missiles. The whole share it. Who vision share with the others. Though you cannot there be of a bad because in there. Or is only answer like Omokono. Senior chair, how you bit me creative work on our own like yeah economy. And you must say, sika, let me make example be chair more fast back. Say, I cost ya 1,000 a year that one 500 that was fair. Or 500 the other day. Why? Because you have about 10,000. And he doesn't see the value of 500. But if say only be a 500 no obetia so atape de see. Why? Because only scan be. And say you need to meet chair in Mianom. And self independence, self financial control. My brother, I'm telling you, we don't need messers. We don't need messers. Any partner is selfish or because you need money, selfish or because or pescan or the who yale were butchery. But yen and I'm train in your back says you will near the same way. The person doesn't need to go to a butchery. So he doesn't need that money, and he can create the work by his own culture. If the person is financially independent, no weapon can control that person, no orchestration can defeat that person, no economic gain of it within the defeating Nipan. Because Nipan can create his own wealth. It doesn't depend on you. And that's the senior have shown us. Onunya in the way no one so look at or share no look at liberation aba ama nipa bebree. All because onya no one wanye me pese me nkuminya. Me nkwame antena so or share my nyina. It means na na mo tuo no unya nimdie bi uwa de papa bi omu a please share with others. Don't feel like oh this my like what could school accounting ube make it consultancy out of it. My brother no unya no consultancy a kbia can no me ni access to it. But Ocean freely no now we have access to it and it's liberating all of us. Please, I'm pleading with anybody here on this platform who information be who are the people be share with others. Now, one thing I'm on this platform listening to senior and say, the more I will share the though if you can't do it, somebody can see the vision in it and the person can take it and do it. When the person able to achieve it now, meaning a Ghana near bird, a African near bird. Ebia won ntimi nu ba wo ka che onwa na onwa betimi aye na nyina result senior the senior actually he was thinking oh ya ma you nyina wan fa ne ono nko am petemi nkunya and look at the way we niaji the way we nya so mfaso you see that it in so na ya also share with there opisi bi nya so mfaso gradually with this short possible time we don't need messers if the people understand their culture and their root they know this that the only way they can defeat us the root of our strength must be cut. And we can easily connect it. Maybe free time, many free time, maybe free time. When you me balance here, ready, in Africa. Like it's easy you can connect to any because we're a black guy, we're a Ghanaian, who is in Yano. And easy you can connect with them than connecting with white. I'm telling you, my brother, because who say and I like who was I'm born to be within, more born to be as a blood, and more born to be. Only white man is our bond, no? Because no entity now dreaming different from not black man to black man. It means we can defeat this battle. We don't need a master. All we need is what the footsteps are seen action. Yen follow. Unya bibi na wo nimdie bi afache amanfo. Share my amanfo. Nimdie bi say na mjina dansoken, blood dansoken. Say we need to do if you can do underground water supply, we can do irrigation. Dan so let me tell you something. Burkina Faso, the upper side of Ghana. Burkina Faso, Ghana soro. That should tell you, say, it will be free Burkina Faso biano. If the higher elevation in Ebapunim, Epoasie, Burkina Faso, called northern region. You were the right side of the northern region, a white voter. The left side of the northern region, a black voter. They are all coming from the top of Ghana, which is Burkina Faso. And the Burkina Faso now, you what irrigation problem. I need some farming once a year, a northern part of Ghana. And the hosting what virgin lands are yen tempire. But we have two streams, white voter and black voter. They are all one on the left side of northern region, right side of the northern region. And the northern region is inside, in Sunda in Chen. My brother, we cannot tap this one. Because now we are doing some design. We say, you have said it in Sophie southern part of Ghana, northern part. It means that we came out with the sense of even pumping the water to the northern part. We have a stream, the natural resource on the culture. No? When we started reading our culture and thinking about roots, we see that guys, we don't need to travel anywhere. The water is coming from the top, which is the northern region. The black voter is coming from the northern region, the white voter is coming from the northern region, and Nyamisu Kwani Nyansem, architecturally, no, would way to the left, no, the way to the right, and I couldn't even feel. And I heard Tamela, I heard Tamela with Vivi. Oko Boga was highest elevation, and Navlongos was highest elevation. In some places, your rivers that in chain, we can tap those rivers and let them flow by gravity. From Ano or you can say Oba a Punano a salty. We don't need that one. Because oh, so free so bad. Why do you go for a borehole? It means I'm a slammo. Yen fan to your home. Obi wonim de bi a on share. Me enye person kumnya. I'm not fond the person kumnya ne be share education him so that they will divide us and root us. Say na penfo bu baby say, "Pray oh we ba kwa ebu. O ka boma embu no." Irrespective of economic measures, if the people are united, you can't defeat them. I'm telling you the gospel truth. All we need is to be united. All we need is to now do the sacrifice our fathers could not do. We need to sacrifice. Don't just have your idea be into me keep no return my yet no my brother. Seen a no notice or change or 10 times or transfer and come no meaning and get association kwasum. Timis Royal. We don't need measures. They won't no share with others. My own financially independent. And I'm telling you, y'all,
Ofa,
we all
asam no
coming.
asam no me yasho so want ase. Tobo. Want ase. Now legend chirichiri mu. Because you show baby a ye problem no. Ye re na fi ye ho. E na ama sa problems we mu nyina eba. Baby a problem no fi ba no, ye encounter with these people. Enti obi a obetumi aye obone pa wo wiase eye nipa a obema wo refi ho. Obe condemn ade bi a wo wa gene de atum. You see am ye sure say ye Ghana po bebre. Me bram po de enu am ye conference call. Me ma no ha no o kan bo ko to me say masa o kan say hwi anka nkora na gya you. Because kasa na fe na wo processing na but ya gye atum ama sisi ano ye kasa no kora no ye gya ka. Inti nipa oye say e de atia wo no nanka wo life nyina kora no wo behu no kora we anka wo life nyina mpo no instead say wo de bedo no na wo hu na wa bie kwan ama no na wo nam ukrom se wunsuo no nka obi ka say wo life nyina fa produce weapons kora na fa ko fight na nipa no nka abone sa atam no na meka enye say ye ko
Yeah,
produce
me
weapons
that's what
no
can boni. Yeah, me that's what can boni. But me person me chwa dream say we even fine
no
as you say
problem
say
what the
yeah
no problem ya ti
weapons
ase ya ti ase
Your friend is say your friend says sarcastically na they are okay.
Yeah, yati ase ba we we are now the YouTube channel to jana ya ba bisuya de o kire no ko ye nyina ye putu ni nyina gu abonten sa ati ati. Enti Mr. Bafi another question em say me dey fa my can language no ho asem kura but a problem ba ko a legend ma hu no me pese me bisa se ye betumi ato ye kasa atwene ama yenya generational wealth no bi ana. Is it possible? Go we share the way I na legend yenye radio. Ko ye schools no mu ko he. Isi aye kasa no da gomba da gbani ewe ya to atwene o. Ankwara na eba no omo nte be o. O ka kasa kwa no gyan ho hwe wani. Generational wealth yo mbetumi anya bi die. My last question. Legend.
So you really feel kasa na just you really feel. Na broni ne system na wahyehyɛ no yɛnka ho so ɛka ho ano yɛ adwuma ama no sɛ yɛdie paa sɛ yɛdi aboro no so ɛwɔ ɔno no system no mu deɛ ɛnyɛ possible ɛno sɛ yɛbɛtumi ayusu different system a yɛsɛ yɛte yɛn ho ase na yɛte na yɛsa te deɛ ɛwɔ so ase yɛnyansa ne yɛ nɔɔma ne bebree so yɛ system yi mu yɛkasa yi mu na ɛwɔ yɛ culture ne mu na ɛwɔ ɛno na kwasi broni koraa bere ansa na wate ase. Can you imagine say China to na komo use abrofo system kwa omo kasa on bibia e koma jame omo dada we Google no afam kwa we Android we ntoka na eba but China is complex because omo different language different culture. Into okosi baby ano apem. The abo ya ho ban kakra ye kasa na kaye. Any amamre na kaye no, your traditions. Na abo ya ho mo kakra. E na nkofo ka Ghana sem. Say Ghana is different. Ghana is different. What they tend to forget is that so Ghana for now other African countries. Ghana no still yes so culturally. Obi aba Ghana wo hu se Ghana he say ye. Na say na omo de coat ne tie bia bo manka ye de enka kuntum kuru no ye o. Enye ho no ya bosi utu me hu nsa ja ye. Bi sara me hu no. And what bre baby ye di amamre ye frank ntoma ye twa ye ho. Sa no man na ma Ghana no ye different no. Nti ya obi ba na Ghana ye different Ghana hospital Ghana culture na. Eno na aboy ho ban. Where other African countries now mo ye na say who right away ye. Go for ejira ho na me say go for is so maduru he. We Kenya for because mo ye no. Oh, mo wi refi mo ho.
Yeah.
Nti ba na sebe ye die no kwasi bro ni be build the companies ni nya no mo ye adwuma wo. No mo ye doctors, engineers, no mo ye adwuma mo. So you get to control your water. You say so ye die. Omo culture na nye stronger than ye die no. Na ya to ye die nyina agu omo kasa no emmoro ye die no so. Ya to ye nyina ya to ye die agu na the thing is that wo ye wo said day wo nye bia. You will never be Caucasian. You can go from where to where. Anthropologically, we are African. It's as simple as that. Onye Bruni. And Bruni on the culture, Arab on the culture, Chinese on the culture, Tuntum Musu all day. And do bet my fanakasa, bet my shanatadie. But your DNA will not change. So long as I would in the DNA namino, I will promote the DNA, don't forget it. You cannot keep the word. You may do any. And the AI is no do anymore. One person will be a benyafe. Just one of it. The more I am crop for no camera for a they produce lawyers and doctors. They will only feed the system. The vicious system that enslaves, that destroys, especially people like us. That's a fact. I mean, at what point in history? And I will be see one race where there it me come woman in the pet me show me hang you a tone what is a more.
Onyam na ya yi.
It means we are based on race. We see that from the inception of time. Compare himself for penetration salon. And we do say any part of embrace who am our bay any women African Americans are 400 years. Do you think so more acceptable to be full human beings and create their own worth?
Legend, yes, so more no more wicked na wo. Omo aba na different.
We shallow. We are cast away shallow. Okay. So Bruni believe in equity and who send and crop on billionaires and Kebehana.
Yeah.
Abroad is just about 10% of the world's population. And so we are seeing global institutions beyond the person control. They see a threat. When say the next 50, 70 years, they will come for. To keep that. So any part the other was a how. South Africa population in control. I don't know how. See any part. I don't know how. Say China any person ye. Inti yanko for no be brain suan de no. And as was suan de abro ni man is adu suan. Woman na woman test anoma we asia. They wish say Kenya sir. But this is the reality. Sanity. Into you feel who are. Ubesomo.
Metimika bibi kakra.
Sure.
Then go ahead, Anna.
Aye.
Okay, I mean, there is this observation, which I believe say, yeah, Africans, you know, okay, now I see several factors, but maybe count one particular one. I'm a personal experience, but to home. Chrome had me bus school. Me yeah me masters wa na yeah masters. You know there was this cohort group. Cohort me year me project work. Na Korean back home. Korean no say a project work via ebe kono no wo ho. Ye be project work no bia be kono no wo ho. No bus school. Until one day na my friend na me say what around that now because he obi abeba na wo ha. Ye koso so a na waka wo ho. Oh no so the family comes to get me. Na me say family. Is it your personal? I want to say no. I'm not saying also you won't understand. Until me be interested, I try to follow him. To me be who say almost a Korean restaurant. That time in I'm Florida. I was home. To me, yes, in the man share that quack or third and share the way of life. Into Ghana be two more one weekend. And obviously I'm say, what are you doing here? Because me call hobby 10 p.m. It was at that time, most restaurants in their home. But at 10 p.m., me realize say the Koreans were trooping into the restaurant at 10 p.m. The student, me mate in whom or yeah, very surprised as me were around that time. But Mr. Sunana me person me share near me bintino. And I'm saying no, I just came to buy food. And I was okay. It's a chain I'm say, can I say, not share me what's going on. And also it is something away outside that you never know and you never understand. And also, but if I ask that or bet share me. The long and short in the Korea for no war system. It goes back to their home country. That was South Korea. Into no say me wahano and I me Korea for no wahano. We have a whole enterprise. More restaurants, more skincare shops, even a bank. Into no say obi wo Korea. They contract with the family. Near the Nipanaba. The community here no pays for your airfare. Oba baby abeda. That's the family. Now Oba omone no family assign contract. Say if you are Patrick Jumum restaurant na ba juma and nail salon or your bar nail salon na ba juma. And the contract is obey juma for 5 years. Obe sum for 5 years. And also we are the group, the family, our capital, the amount business, you start now. So what run is our business, Now your sound contract will say, send you do buy you be share what say amount capital, so you be can't go for obi so dia brew. No, so I be started the cycle. Or can no me who dream. And I was trying to figure out, the Ghanaians, South Florida when I was there, no. I also change the Korean community. I'm a close knit. But they are very close knit. And me realizes that all of them were driving luxury cars. Man, who Korean if you're driving any regular or be driving either BMW and Mercedes and all that. And I'm besides why that? I don't know if they are class and style. I'm supposed to say they work hard, they should play hard, which was encouraging enough. But the gist of it, and they say, I realize that you ain't Africans, We are here and Ubia tries to obey an idea by themselves, alone. And we are all suffering. Yeah, we try to portray that we are doing good and I'm Wall Street and I'm hard, but you could have done better together. And that is the focus of the Korean model, a building generational wealth, because the cycle continues for everybody who comes. You come into the system, you work, they build capital for you, and they set you up. Almost dying, almost bank.
Minya no. Saa adeɛ wei a mebaa kurom a mehuuɛ no nti na me instigate the formation of GH Capital, KOD, Investors Real Estate back home, because we have kurom ha, they don't make money individually. And yeah, nipa ba kuno quite rich. Elon Musk no God. It's a network.
Yeah.
By any benina man ye nkwa ye tie be pimpim sa. Anano me wo fa. Abesha ha be 30 years. Ko Ghana 6 months wo. If you cross your grandman kodem dia wo. Individualism sa ni adinam ha sa ni akokwa ni ewu ni. We don't come together, we don't build together. So then one working. That's it.
I mean, Obia per se, the man who say yeah, blacks and the yeah, Obia per se show off how well they're doing. Into na car no at all. Mo adam fubu ha auto new car no aframe Jack pass bi no I'm saying men copper to her. He wants to go and show off the new car what no. And your car not just a design and idea from head to toe. That's all we are about. And into the Mumbisa Patrick, men go baby. I'm a bufu class and people are trying to show off. But you know, that person is struggling, working 2 or 3 jobs to be able to maintain that lifestyle. Why? I mean, I keep asking. I mean, why do we do that to ourselves? You know. Whereas if 2 or 3 gather and pool resources, you can do way better than each of us is trying or we're trying to do individually. So for me, if you plan of building generational wealth, this is the foundation and the bottom line. You know, like that's the letter I wanted to chip in for something to ponder about. I mean, you bet you have to try to say yeah, work really hard individually, but because how the bills, you know, and the little left, you know, for you to use to fund any meaningful enterprise, near very, very scanty. Into now, my little I'm personally contributing. That was it.
Yeah, yeah. What do you say, Mebo? I go fast, Maba.
Zabafin. Eti we the whole question ojiwe na me fa nkoda. Ziana wo say ya generational wealth ya bedi ya muso mo say ma ya nja bibia wa ha na ha no ya tu kwan ya ha no ya transit it said ya wo ko England na wo ko fa ya kan say wo ko fa Dubai uduru Dubai asa wuntumi enkosi dan wo ho gise wo to aso it will be a me transit e was asase so akọ heaven pa de mesi dan adwen generational wealth
say you tell we are saying Zania go heaven. Nti also build this out and no first answer. Esa come do tino. Say heaven no. You be quiet. Was here tell we are saying answer. Ana untimi ntwam nko straight. I was here obetina we are saying answer no go heaven. Ena
ha na nya 2 days nya 3 days.
Oba so awoko no so no. Ebia obe wo e. Wa me wo kra wo fa si obi ho ne ade nchidiafo ho. Eti o so otimi build this ade no so to. Ti etimi
nya ya me na be hwe omo.
Ya me dey so hwe omo wi dada. Ti wo na wo so a physical one no. What be some question? Maybe a question.
Okay.
Let's me to ba kwa ba. Yoruba ata Nicholas will say, I want to start something for myself, but my uncle is insisting I should work with him in his company. Yeah, up here.
Boss.
On your day.
O say the also person ye bibi man ho na so ne o pass onye adwuma wo ne company.
Onye on adwuma wo no ne company.
Say ho nso betumi de sua ade nti onye kakra o ye nyina na o practice o practice the o person o ye no. Me dia anka me de say ho no ye field a me a me hwa metumi asua ade a me de ho be apprenticeship. Ho no be free apprenticeship ya e be san pia oka. Iti udi sua ade now they build muscles no ofa no ndi na chikwa. Just learn from him, learn the principles. Sabe ya wo journey no enye enwa ni say ono nso sɛ ɔyɛ wabie company ampapa na akɔ n'anim nso deɛ a wowɔ nimdeɛ a wobɛtumi atapo afiri ne hɔ. So why not? But still na wobɛtumi ayɛ biribi nso wɔ nkyɛn a no nso bɛbrɛ wo ɛbɛbuild wo deɛ. Mmerɛ no so sɛ wɔ sɛ wokɔ a ɔno abɛka sɛ kɔ. Nti me deɛ anka saa na mɛyɛ no. Mede bɛsua adeɛ.
Yo, yate.
I
Nicholas.
think so. Yeah, me ne ya adwin 100% because mpanimfo bu baby say yes say wo tu sie so a onche no ay tenten dan say wo tu sumuna mu a obeche ansa no ay tenten. Until you can use your ankle platform as a leverage. You build yourself the same time no vision na person wo no. You can start alongside and you can get a lot of information from one ankle. And then also amount leverage bebree, amount opportunity bebree. Cause all your offering no some platform be a wo betimi anya co-worker wo ho no nya saa opportunities no. But because of what your offer no nya saa opportunities no. And a mistake e bia obi a ye be pa ni so man fire no how be pa dem because of what offer no. I think there's a good platform a betimi dia building ho. No what the ayen die no. Na time no so do so offer no na be jam akọ. Nti ene de mfonko sua de no ko ni but say what do stage or none so we're competent to move on its own, they are fair enough. He can move forward. But say when not with me and give me of an on your and then so bet me more leverage. Access of a normal bit me and they are built to future better. Yeah, I think say yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nicholas.
Nti
Contribution.
no Madamasi. Na mepɛ sɛ meka kyerɛ me nuanom akristofoɔ no. Yɛn na saa nsɛm wei a ɛnente aseɛ no yɛ den ma yɛ paa. Yɛn mu a yɛ asɔfoɔ no titiri ɔmo yɛ young guys na ɔmo ba yɛyɛ a hey kyeka no aboa yɛ no agye sika no adi yie no. Asase so a yɛbaa yi yɛwɔ die nti a yɛbaa ha. Sɛ Nyankopɔn pɛ sɛ yɛkɔ heaven sɛdeɛ ɔmo seɛ na anka ɔde yɛbɛkɔ straight. Woba ha na wo so wongya hwee wɔ ha a menwo. Ɛne wobɛtumi akɔ ama yɛyi wo nneɛma no afiri hɔ. Mengya akwaraa bia wɔ ha. But once a wɔyɛ w'adwene sɛ wobɛgya obi wɔ ha. Sɛ woanwo koraa na wɔwɔ faase wɔ ha no. Ana wo nua bi wɔ ha no. Dwen generational wealth a yɛkan dwen ho pakɔ adwendwen mu. Na make sure sɛ wobɛgya biribi wɔ ha. Fi sɛ ɛha ɛne yɛwɔ evidence sɛ nipa ɛte. Planets I discover from your solar system to Milky Way galaxy to the observable universe. Happy and a nipa to meet. Into the all evidence be now or die more, no problem. But make sure you leave something here. Intelligent. It's about to come any abusive for you now. I miss Shamo, Madam Massey.
That's it. Yeah, piano no. Yeah, piano no. Aye. Ona.
Yeah, me know yeah.
Ujane.
Na we dey kakra na me catch ya over.
Na twaso. But your time you know we dey so I be kono.
Kakra me catch ya say yeah, we dey quickly. Mishra wa ye mu yenwa ma Christopher no. Yeah, dey also esu hu omo ho say ya on say hu engineer no. Hu Mr. Obin no. On say na e bia na so dwen sa. Na so bi evu sa. Nti say no wabehu bibi. Wabehu an foforo bi. E na tete no ma bi afiri utirim. Nti saa na yesu ye hu omo sa. Say the atete afiri wani so no, entiti fi omo so ani so. De wo hu no omo so hu. Nti o say nyom ho abotre. Na yekoso a chechiro omo. Yekoso a ne omo ye share links bibi say na wano ma to so no mu tie bi. Kakra omo say betete omo ani so. Till say betete omo ani so no de yaw. They always have the same point omo wo no. Omo bedwen say na omo dwen na nti saa na tie. Na kakra meka on my side and say Mr. Onyina yen nyire ho yen sua your culture no yen kakra na I hope say the future is bright yen kekan ho mumbom yen nye no man kakra na e be successful nyame sha obi bia me da so fa ba fi
That's it. Opusco. Che, o be floor ketechi ana me floor ketechi o. Opusco bra. Opusco koso. Is it one person everybody? Oh, push go the idea was. Prince.
Mena friends ano. Eh. Ya
Yeah,
be
that's
chwatum.
it. Any push go. Is it one person everybody was?
Eh.
Kasa.
Mesama awama Mr. Obin. Ube chejwan.
Boko there.
Media kakra meka afa generational wealth no hunu say let's study our history, let's come together, let's invest together. Invest on your own, but come together and invest with your brothers and sisters. It will not be all rosy, there'll be problems, but it's surmountable. Yeah, and better solve those problems. The Maya is stronger.
Yeah.
And let's join patriotic investors, let's join GH Capital, let's join KODI, real estate investors, and invest. Let's join our brothers and sisters and do things together. That's it.
Yeah. Mr. Prince, architect behind so many of the projects that go through on this platform. You know, DH Castle. Look, I'm ready. I'm for be person joining. Or say yeah, and also your friends saying kill the building, a hostel, and also a coso. And another say
Yɛgye nkurɔfoɔ nti obiara a ɔyɛ interested biara obetumi alink
it's
up to
always
Mr.
open.
Benson.
It's
Yeah,
always
it's open. Come in. Let's invest.
yeah. Prince, Mr. Prince, yeah, dear pa. Nana do say so. Is also an architect of so many projects. Also, very your friends, innovative guy. Never be real so. He's behind it. It's Yadamu say. I'm say, I'm say, as a type of Casana, then line in yet. It's no be last time, bruh. That they will be another did. What does who did he? The whole of the show.
The wood here.
Koso, yet you.
I offer boy for me that must say, Namada, I wish of course was it. And then, my homachi mitie, yen near Queenie, or been uncle confidence. Any other, you know, that is 2 years ago, right? But it was so inspiring. It was so inspiring. No Colorado, no Krum Haya,
Oh, that?
no Colorado.
Oh, Denver now.
No Denver, University of Denver.
Okay.
See, papa obey that for the only me. Okay. That me too fufu ano or say me yeah, so interesting. And see, ne yebeka ni say enyamu chire no. Kama na o ka mu bisa yenia ba fi ne yepanyi ne your meda kono about the history of Ghana. No? I've read enough, but you guys are teaching me more. See, Nimdiana dear, more impact very well. It's me no, maybe Hanumano and chair dear. That it could be 1 year now, but the next year I'm moving out.
Moving on, say,
I'm moving out. Me Ghana.
Okay.
Me China 3 years. I learn a lot. Maybe has much. Maybe no me you be a impedisha. I learn. Me obi in that dame obi in chile my drink. Nti say me ba o platform so now o kan asem na say adwen a bit makoma ni ma. I pick it up and move on. So nti menia me so yen nuanu mu hia ehia nimdi a wo mo chire yi. However it is. Yen nuanu mu hia sa nimdi because yeah, you know. Sometimes me number what I mean you me a movie as my part-time job. But I go every home in Colorado. Every city in Colorado minimum. But I've seen say that. When you tell them the truth, they will never listen. Chrome Hanum no, the more ocean, the more won't me murphy. Of about you,
I know. So what channel welcome will be also
the more ocean. Yes, because obi person obafie na owo sikabi na person obafie be triple 3 times and san with mo bafie ama na ho ato se obafie ekọ abuchiri na me so me ni e ma je se me yesa bi na me kira de Ghana eto bi a me tie obenda ko old videos na ye nuanom bi etimi test or kira de me a teacher ni all my life. My life ni na me nya adwuma bia nka ne me ye o America yi ho. Na so bi eka say o teacher ni na o jai ne teacher adwuma aba abuchira. Sometimes it me shima kuma because who ni bi na wo say ye fi ho no. O so wo scan waka asma chiri obi o. Who said to the be a man for to me share that be say no be that no wo dey. Do you need somebody to have something to tell you what he can tell you? I feel off one when we say I really say Obi always can also Obi. But the thing is the rarity to me say Obi always experience. We say earlier now discuss empires and all kinds of empires, you know. Yenia panini
Janji. Oh, I'm sending the line article.
there is nothing like democracy. There is nothing like socialism. The fact is,
Kwame.
Mr. Befi.
Let me tell you.
say you from me, be from it ma ape adiamu. We need to love ourselves. Say yeah, it's more self love now. We are damaged. Obi am pay atemo. Senior, me say one time me obi ko ye adwuma. Adwuma ye adwuma na den. Ni ewie no. Ono ye broni nto nya bia no. And I've learned say obi binibi and you will scare the mom. Tia nuanom me dem mesre mo ye nuanom ayi omo yam so omo kira ade no. Omo tu omo ho na ache o. Omo nye nipa bi a fan se bi omo ya ade etie obi a omo tu omo ho na ache. Some of us we saw this ye hu san in the way but ye force ya say ye pasi me achieve something and san ye timaba out. But ye nuano what for so
Oh, Ashanti will lie, dear. A time no so called. Kwame to Asumai. Kwame, point.
Me ciao.
Point.
Me can it here or much chim. One hour nimdie. If I show no so. Who I am now of
Also, Kasa. Kwame, here be enko. Na, Asante. Kwame enko.
Sabes me dá se. Ciao so.
So. Tell catch it. So what cash this
Sa me hustler.
America.
Na amano ne fo na no maka se ye wa han me ma no no mpeso mo kire se. Mo mugu ho mo te ho mugu zu ho. Ye ba bi so amose de bi me ti ase.
Ya no ho. Ya wa no.
Me da me ti. Ene ya se ma me.
Depend on the you know so question so. I said it.
Omo person mo kire se me ye ma. Uzo kosole agusu ti o basan akọ. Enti u person wo kire ye se. Ye beba. Ndi ende omo nka ye nti. Ye no no de omo nka ma ye nti. Enye mo si enye. Enye de bia nso gusu wo ho. Ukwa anu abebom mienu na akọ. Ni ye be bia mo si enti eno na ebe de ne ama. Anyway, ni nyina eba besi de de atete ya adwen. Ene niema enti ma ye enti mi ne ye ho. Enu nti na ye ka obi ma so. Na ya adwen ye se bia ye duru ba bi sa na ni betinya ye den. Enye sika. Nti se abakosem ne nya.
Aha, mini ya kwa me ka okay.
Abakosem ne nya. Zabefi. Hwe wo krom ha o. Ode bibia betoto fom. Beka se hwe ni ha sei. Even abakosem ne nya kra na wonya utumi diye wa ha still no be je wadwen se wo ko ben broni. Nipa na akọ ben no so mpe wasem. But still nipa ko da ki nipa tuntum still so ko ben. Nipa no kwa ne system ne mind mu no wachiche mu. O onka ho. Emre bia we ye bia wo ye di gensiu.
Mini ya kwa me mini watching you. Na yenom ya nante kakra na yetena afisu kakra. Nti meso wa ayi Ghana mimi wo gidi o Ghana mu. Esi a me no ka sei me build system bi a mbese me bafia. Ma start it no man ko mpot na China nti minim no makakra. Ti me to no ma e bafie. Pese me ye farming mean here plastic we your friend say greenhouse. Me the net na ye go e hono awia no bo. Nti me the ba na masan say brown half the whole brown half. Omu do impose ne atosode bebree but omu ni nsuo brown half ni nsuo. Nti I'm thinking of say me ba down me ye every village or whatever many be collaborate na because me links kakra na ye dam ama omo no mo da do improve sana makoni ade ene ye wo kwan a na titi ancient time no mo si eye ayi you be a friend macro organize obi akọ kodo afu bia na saasi bia akodo so no however the land is who here macrobis no I think Mr. Boy, if you muna my science kakra mu siase Who hear microbes no? What now grow?
Praise the yes, praise.
Why?
They say praise them so yes size.
And the praise na make us say no. But name mo musutie. Who sister science na make na nye science yirawo. Who afuo ma. Dia kese ase. Who ku dia kese bia ase abon say enwura na tete egu ho no ma ayi. A friend saying na tie na e wa ase no. Afu. Who say there ade bia afu bia na ye say I say. No ne macros no e na edidi wo saade no enti wo sesa taa no ma na wo be ko cha na wo de banche enchene ene eyi a wo betimi dia aspray wo no mo asaase no so ma asaase na e kama na de na ntwibini ene no ma kikanka but Ghana agric no problem ni nyina yi nsuo timi nya nsuo wo solve nsuo na eti Kenya for ye bi on friend said dam omo she the two amana no mo de rubber aseho na nsuo to a na abegu enu ba ko we farming in Africa onu waye bi any other people waye bi eti me no ne enugu ni se ye be ko enima ye nsua ya bakosem Kwana no me nua ba ko fi Dubai ba fie na no ka say oh bra me call me man cheda ko fia ye hene owo fie ma no site na oni ndi ko oh omo asase kese isi se na ayi ajabe kanu am dem me friend ajabe because o say ye wo japade wo fie o but ye tekane me okọ no fa ka kire say oh wo asa mu ye wo asa se ka sia ye pese ye ton na me ka kire say dabi on ka kire no fa ni say on ton asa ti bia ofi because se abusuan wo asa se a eni kwan so ton mu lifi famo obi se on do so ana ondidi so ana on sini down also by 100 years no be say agin back. He said, "Eba asa bi apanyi ti bonkoso mo ye sa ahihye ne kura na akura bi obebo bi ebo huta no ne papa ye ne mana asa ne ayi bi ai bi papa." Ndi ofo ba bi me de ne mi kuni se efie ye wa hoto na mom e ha de ye ni ahoto. Obi obeka so wa ahoto ha bia no no ye dadafo obe keka na nsem bia no enkosi aga. Nti yeda ye nua panyini ayi ana ye nua obindako se no si bie ani na oman adwin ba ye ho so enne
Na
se
boss
me na mi tie sa the confidence you know I was shocked. Oh me ba afini o next year me ba fi
Emfa ho say ya
me
for
ya kwa me
3 days.
menya bro
Enye wo mre na wo ye ne ye ka ho asem.
me se me ba
Se
fi
meti be bi na me ni
me ba na ba me se me ba kiau me ba ba
Enye enchi asem ne ye ka
Dabi
asem.
uso mu soja fo wa se mu ko
Be
na
na
ti
me
ye
se
ti
ya
ja fo na se mu ko. Me say me nya boss me ni me nya boss. Me say because me ti mi di aduma de me nya boss. Eti me nya kwa me de wo me say me ba fia obi a wuntimi ende wo ho enye elie wo aduma no onye boss. Mpaje watemasi. Me ne kwa no wo.
senior be fan sa.
Hello for baby. Aha, mi ye majuma na me fa for no de me boss. Yeah. Nti ofa ba fi me da masina me chia busafo nyina nti nyame adoma ye ba bisha kwa na de ya o mi sia no. Ko soja fo adwenko. Ko ndo mo tuti o mo de mo no different. Obia where ayi mine no ye YouTube bang no is so jani me who so jani bi o Ghana ni na dream the phone power here ni I'm telling you I want to see a different I respect them wholeheartedly it's always no be or chastising go for taking into heart say Kwame kan kwatasem sebi but no ayaw no de kasa saa no eto da bi onsam bi o ka no do so di obin da question wonye odo ama ne man na second yaw ewo ne yam nti o kasa some of us ni tia no so minia no yaw no dawson say ni nia no mote gba bi bre wo fu say sebi okọ fie no kakra eba ne nsam kakra eba ne botom na ni nia no mo bre nkɔfoɔ gye sɛ bi a ɔka sɛbi nkwasasɛm na ɔka ɔdidi nkɔfoɔ atem but he's telling the truth. If you don't have first-hand experience, you will never know. I'm telling you. Kwame Mwa.
Kwame that's it. Yama Kwame trust Kwame.
Aja Kwame. But so you man.
Isabefi. I'm saying
Microphone finish here. Ne bon pay mai.
Isabefi the one say obetimi adi yi a abakosem ya na so ti ase one to abakosem ase a ontumi enya hwe onye hu ni unhu se onkofo bra enye wo ya unhu ohawa onse yesi yedie wo haw mu nti te wonim abakosem na obede hu wo haw obede hu de onkofo pe ene de omompe nti since on ti abakosem nti na akobi a business no akotwitwa balloon wako ye office kese wonama wo kitab friends friends proposal also per funding 750 million na yenza fa trata anasa anyaka mi yenza nka ho ad between you it tells you don't take coach ase endi o te coach anase a de bia no oju hudi to ye Ghana ni aha na me free na se niema ye didi no o hwehwe na won kan semfun emfa o man ho na eya na ye mu binom ye sorry free ye man we mu ni ekodura no ne ana ye hu se ye skafo because obi wo ho a wote baabi wo hu microwave krada na so wo hu iron krada to ade da ana se washing machine to kodru New York City, Hamburg, Netherlands, Norway, Oslo, ana se France Stuttgart, ana se Landstuhl no or say we di because ye mudodo na ye nti di ase because say o first street is na bisa nipa say ye di ye o car kra ezu a ye so it tells you the level of knowledge and say we ase no de wo hadwen mu na wo de bo bra nti ze niema bi wo na so wan ti ase a ye di na it say gold ye de ma wa wo be fa so akobọ mpa no aka che say nyame be ye enti se wo hwe ye man na ye de niema bebre ne na me kwa adwuma me he be 7 7:30 nkofo ani abre pompa ye na mbeka enti muno ede na kire se wo betimi ayeye se vi on ton ade abakosem nye o offer services bia but sorry say nyame bema wadi yi ono shira nyame na dema ono ana ejefo sunsun wi ase anti akua mintama so na wonam wi ase sa enti ya na utum se emu oya because abrabɔ no yɛde nim deɛ na ɛbɔ deɛ na wonim unu mu hwea Mr. Befi wobɛtumi adi yie wɔ ha sɛ yo menuma bi wɔ maazi wabɔ bra pa akɔ n'anim bet apakɔsɛm nyɛ nti wasesa ne nneɛma sɛ ɔkɔpɛ nkrataa ma ne ma daakye wɔ Germany na ɔyɛ cleaner wɔ Germany ɔni paper ɔde nkɔfo paper na yɛ adwuma nipa na ɔno adi yie na kɔhwɛ building na wasi ɛne ne yere ho fa a wagya no hɔ ɛne adwuma ne inventory nneɛma over millions wagya hɔ ɔkɔ kwasi kɔkɔ kurom ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛde biribi asɔ nipa no adwen nti abakɔsɛm no deɛ ho hia o wonnim a wontumi de bia wode yɛbɛto fam na nipa no a wokɔ no hɔ no nso no ɛmpɛ w'asɛm ɔmfa wo nka ho wode yɛnhwɛ the global economic system no sɛ ɛmu han na yɛka ho woka yɛn kɔɔfoɔ na yɛpɛ sɛ yɛkɔ global obi sɛ ɔyɛ global citizen ɛntia na obi wɔ sɛ ɔyɛ global ambisa sɛ especially nnwomtofoɔ no ɔmo sɛ ɔmoto no ambisa sɛ nti saa monwom no a mɔto no kwasi kɔkɔɔ bɛn na ɔte Westchester County sɛ ɔde ɔno bɛtie sangatama putu anaasɛ frɛ ne sɛ kɔkɔɔ patapaa nwom ɔbɔɛ nti wohwɛ yɛ level of knowledge na yɛyɛ ignorance to the highest peak nti from was a global citizen say me global the world is becoming global village we are creating for us I don't stress global village it was me ye program did me kind English dia kofo beti Bruni Ben or Colorado Alabama North Texas Dallas so beti wo kwame ana say kwesi mensa o ka say free eputuja ana say dokochwa just say no just say o hwe ni petuntum na enti abakosam na de enya de a obro world is becoming global village because oh my Ghana nankasa if the world no if we are seeing take a decision na what can who be on can who be enti de na wo betimia enti say what abakosam ase na wo betimia fa wa bra bono ahye wonsa na wako koden no who say ye how ni die kita me say na metimi dia ye because what abakosam na ase a Mr. Befi ungo trotro yi say wo be say build well for friend say proposal unkuchiri na mengu paper so ana say obeyi bibia wo pese bia me pese me ye restaurant say me say me pese me ko ton jollof wo baby inti no se minya container bi mu ana se minya cage mu bi kura de si baby a me meton me mu be menua na wonte abakosem na wonnim fom wo na fom wo no nso na agudie no ne nhira ne nyina wo ono be ka kire me se okope store ohia sika omu hia capital no aka obi ko me te se professor bi ka se professor and is scanning bet we na sika omu so na ekwemintama ma be gurase ho yedede no okofa ne capital free ha say so and you share the level of knowledge into bet yedam asese oro binda akon oro di anka oro Befi mu ne omom keka ho de bia mo kyerɛkyerɛ niema ebeyi efiri samani we dey praise before na to so wo how or bre amane na here tu kwan be we di atotoro ye wo how ne mane ne so nti nsɛm se ya mo kana ne betimi ayede aboaye ze minia ba akoka se ye hia misa and ye hia pa ye hia bi binzu ka se Christopher no so no mo nte ne ma bi ase nti no mo nte ase da bi nipa na wo ji sunsum wi ase di no no ye ne da di wo ji an wo ji wo ntie wo wo te se wo tie sa program mi kwa na ho ye na hi ene lady bi kan bi kire mi wa ho jo wo se obi beta de over te se wo ti obenda akono wadwa enti yensem bebre betini pa na wadwa no hwe na brabon so no niema antani o niema nkoyi wonam de bi o sresre enti so obedi yi wa ha se dia so yi sa niema we nyina ede efiri wa dream na hu so yi ni petuntu na hu se ye krom ha de ye die wa ha se na se mpese me ye restaurant na me ni sika metimi a start akɔgye mo emo miensa na metwa na me ton se saadi na metu aguso se moko na mechi mi ni blender be ya moko ma metimi akɔtɔ ayo de tapoli atwi ma de krachi ni nso pe blender or pe gas cylinder so nti wakech nti obeye hia nti obehwehwe visa obekɔkwasi kokɔ krom oba akɔdane akoa obeye adwuma mienu miensa ofise on say we ask no say wadwi more mra ofise wo chisi more jobs and abenye school ehiafo na adwe no nti wo ye adwuma miensa nan no we are wakachi so you krom akra the whole hospital healthcare kra nye better ade a onum say ade do beko wo mu enyi no bi na wa ate wo ye krom nipa he na ye adwuma nan ni no nipa he na kwa 12 hours 13 15 hours 18 hours over no san ko baby foforo ni me e be break you down and you okoye adwuma na ba no no ba kokra na baby o se ho nye na wo be wudi ane ahada ahayet se cemetery ni e de ne ba ha se wo ba kokro so wo ba pension betan ganam se ana betena ha se tena baby a wote na se ha healthcare nye ni wura efisi ye wo no krom ha se ha ne tete na no onyi di 20 something 30 years asa na ofre wanwu betiti okoye na wo se wa ben broni so baby a wote no kra no wo no mpese obeben wo be kan wo ben na no wo tukọ na ni endi ni fetutu de adwe no enko yie dia wo be bre wo ha ni amane akwantu ni dia obenne musa until say we ye ka bibi say ya no bi gina chere na obi kan office o kwa me cancel o cancel fun there be mimi say meeting baby me kotena America hobi me hu say niema nten me ye de mfa na me sisam ne mbai me complain said there ya na se me gusu to a mo ame na ba me krum na me de meeting krum na me nyame awie su bia na ma we me nyame kontomla pese bia na me di na me komanim se me de me hu bebo afore aye adwuma wo enkwasum body form ho ne de ne nka me ba betena me krum go me hu se me nya fa ho de there freedom in the mind the yes baby a entokwa kase power oro me na akoka wo se ni adwe no edi se abrabo no ubedi ye se wadwuma mra abrabo fa oso na adwuma mra ne bi ne se wontumi nyu ni na wonyi wabakose muni tisane ema we nyina na ema nipa entimi ni izo obedi ye dia se otumi unlock ana so ubie sane ema we so na de etimi ama wako wanimu abrabo obi wo beka se nyame adom the grace of God na wo mu bia se wo sum no se wo sum no wo mu bia enti se ye woni ema omumadi ye eye ena omumu akahia mu no so ye jizo peso ka hia mu na se empenifu ba no mo cheche na ma meti na abeji achia we ya no obisa ho se we resource te se nsunsun so na te se abrabo be na wo bo de bia wo sresre wo twen piansa na wadidi oba school fees utumi tua den kofobi tiwi ase o mon de bi o mo sresrance no mo edi it tells you say adwin na fra de wi asa de ba ko ehu pa se wa adwin be fra wani we ne se wani we ne frank ayo but wadwin fra enunti na ni frani oduru ba bi otumi ka se aha ya ha se na se aha se ye se friend se ye ton bibu aha na kwasi mensa ate na ekua mintama ne de bi o mo adwin mu afra ti de bia no otonyom ye retwen wa nyamemre ne mrepa what God cannot do doesn't exist. But omunim say what God cannot do, and say God cannot change his ways for you to be successful because what kwasi emfa all you go. So God cannot change his ways to say you do you go so into oba be can pile. I didn't know so sin yankopon betimi be no yankopon to me ye de ampa. I didn't know call near do you go so unko near for you go so na me pilot too free. I saw them and Muslim one na go nsa no wie no so koye pilot. Uko no akofa plane na wo kan. Nti ye woniema yesua ye didi nti so oju hu din so a wani nka se wudu sika kra be hye kwesi kokokro mu se metwe untimi meka nche me se ebia wa form group bi nti ukoye investment wo kwetiko kokrom ti me meka ho there be menye because me krom has in problem e wa has in a dozen one ka se baby a wote na ka se yempo wasem ye pamo but still ye do lumba so na bo say ye di usie na wupie ye di usie na wupie Dube catch him some messing kwa American kwa yes tita na se me kwa ye business there be menko menye because maybe chrome problem can maintain solving we tiade internet say me do me mind it is about cosem ya wo do mind wo jo mind in your case about investment that's me opinion America but me dem me mind this say me problem e wa men solving we tiade na metimi asesa me sika free chrome say me de kwa ye investment to be it tells you your level of intelligence because also person ye dollar millionaire Tiu kofono adwene fra ye wo sikani ye wo dini a wo ye hiani because odwen hia adwen enu nti no di ye wa ha no wontu kwan da wa hyehyɛ niema wa ha di ye bet wo wie no se ne ma no omonko Harvard omonko ha se okopɛ krata ma omuna nkwala ne da achinti tell so wo ye defo bet adwene fra Isabel fi medibesi na on the 15th November Robin da ko seminar 15th November
first 31st online one and sana
31st nso obe meka 15th no 15th November yeshia Kumase yeshia mokesi ese cash flow for investment sika 7 se de bia no de bia udiska nti ese hu sika de bia ti de na abeya bineska nti bra na betie bi ye ka se bra yen fa no nti o yungu so be bo afore na abedi yanka abeko beto abosa niema ni nyina wo ya ne aka cho se wahwe esunsunsun so ne te say how far now so we see my future is bright until I get there but your future is bright udru hoda pe so we say it is well with my soul so boa enko niema antene ya lebo wa obe frefre call enti beka me ho ne yenko yem register yem ho dawuru na sansem where a building wealth osi ye krom ne ma embedu fa bontin bebre na ho transition to a 21 day fasting na wo ehiafo no nko an ye chimo madwen sa ni pepon se baby bia na ye di sunsun sam ye twan aban no wo hia na ye produce nti ye nya sa nkofo bi Robin da akoso o ye nchechi a mo man kan ho ne support ne ntan echi ni nko penim de ni bi ne efe mobra ne hu se ye krum ha de ye die wo ha ye num se ye ko ne ye gba fom a ebede ebe fefe so hu bibia wo de tal ne wa obefa nti 15 November and 31st so oye another seminar so enti kan ho ye se wiase wo de wadwen eto odi obotom to wadwen ma daache ebetwitwa ajo ebemu adi yi Rabbi Odame ansa na 50 facts about money on kinkan akope bi kinkan financial systems so about out Robin da akoko pe bi kinkan in the books no yenko ni enkusua de was se wusua de your earning capacity and determine your earning capacity and your working capacity. You say your learning capacity. Now learning na ye can self development. Yeah, the oko Einstein ne management 103 ne strategic friends say strategic management 457 there be geography 102 there be political science 101 there be yenko pesa nim de we be yen fe mobile 31st year be ya yen register na 20th aka 10 11 days yenko nkosua de usua de a emha ko anim ema yi ntentan ne niema ni adwene si apene no wetimi ade ho because we are say sika fa wo akoa wo bre wo do wada agye ne wo how nyina che sisika sa akosise ubewu nti mu nkosua de Mr. Bef me da ase.
That's it. On that note, Wednesday paradigm shift. Beyond joining many Max say Max Obekasai or project or pesa amount for what chance on person investing in near day. obey more, go more in details near there. Until we join a paradigm shift, 4 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Ghana time. Our paradigm shift Wednesday coming year, which is 22nd. Yes, 22nd. Yeah, on your live show, subscribe to the Patrick Berfi YouTube channel. I'll be in a paradigm shift 10 BR. So make sure you spend wisely, save intentionally, and be generous. See you all. Bye-bye.